Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the podcast. This is the Magical Misery Tour. Our guests this week, members of Dankman Productions. That's going to be Paddy Brooke and Eddie Verzella. Please check them out at Dankman Productions on YouTube and all the other things. Go to Boat Mike. That's at the Benjamin Franklin Yacht at Penn's Landing. That's every Monday night. Sign up to 7:30. Shows at 8 o'clock. We got some good stuff here. I'll be honest, show was mostly Robert De Niro impressions, and I am fucking fine with that. So I hope we liked it. I hope you liked it. What, are you too good to like it? Fuck you. Get out of my house. This is Magical Misery Tour. We'll see you. See if I still feel. I focus on the pain. It's the only thing that's real. The needle tears the hole. It's that old familiar sting. Try to kill it.
Did you not hear me on your own time?
Hello and welcome to the
does this
Magical
to me
Misery
every
Tour.
time.
I love it. I love when things are choppy. Hello and welcome to the Magical Misery Tour, where funny people discuss life's unfunniest things. With me, as always, is my super professional counterpart, James Neal, drinking a Corona.
This is why. No, you're not supposed to tell people I'm doing that right now.
Oh.
Dude, I'm supposed to be in rehab. Shut up. What are you doing, dude?
Dude, you're going to get my podcasting license taken away.
I know. Seriously. My job thinks I'm working. No. I hate you. Okay, cool. Let's start. Happy Thursday to you as well, Jesse.
Happy Thursday. This drops on Thursday.
Yeah, we always say it drops on Thursday. Don't tell anybody.
I got in my first fight with my new girlfriend this week.
Ooh, let's talk about it. After we bring in our guests, let's talk about it.
Okay, cool. Joining us from Dankman Productions, from Boat Mike, from
Presidential candidates for 2020.
Paddy Brooke, Eddie Verzella. How you guys doing? Welcome to the Magical Misery Tour.
How are you?
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here. The Magical Misery Tour.
So,
Can I tell you how much I love the name of this podcast?
Yeah?
It's so great.
I
love it.
I had the idea of this podcast for a few weeks before. Like, I was literally just like, you got to think of a name. A name that'll set the iTunes charts up.
Ablaze.
Yeah.
A flimber?
A flimber.
Any other parodies of that name? Of the
Actually, here's the thing. The term Magical Misery Tour has been used before. It was like a lot of like goofy novelty songs in the 70s. Not anything that would like qualify as like an actual trademark for a podcast.
You think you could still find that?
Yeah, I can still find it.
I've been singing it. Like, I don't sing the Mystery Tour anymore. I sing Misery
Now
Tour.
I think Misery now too.
It's better.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You teach
All right,
Paul
you
a
gotta
thing
look
or
that
two.
up. Anyway, so me and my girlfriend got in our first fight, and I made her cry.
Now she's able-bodied, right?
She is able-bodied. Yes.
Is she older or younger than you?
She's 4 years younger than me.
Sick burn.
So that makes her
37.
60.
Yeah, something like that.
God damn it.
She's like, I haven't done the math. If she's a day over 25, it's over. I'm sorry, but
You had her in tears, huh?
we got in a political argument.
Oh, no.
Shit.
And I said
You're a hill dog, right?
I'm a hill dog.
From way back.
Hill dog, day one.
It's 98.
I'm a rot ham. That's what I am.
Hi, this is Jesse Dram. I'm calling from the Hillary Clinton campaign. Do you have a couple minutes?
Don't believe those things about flights to places. Anyway,
Swear to God, we never murdered anybody.
yeah. People just say that people trip around us. I don't know what it is. But we'd gotten in, obviously, with a lot of the comedy brouhaha of the last week and a half, which we didn't get into last week, but the Shane Gillis being fired from SNL. Anybody who listens to this, Shane Gillis is a local comedian.
Oh, what are we doing this now? Because I didn't let you do it last week.
I'm giving the context.
Okay, fine.
Because me and my girlfriend have been arguing about it ever since.
Are you serious?
Oh, no.
It has no effect on your life whatsoever.
No, it has an effect on us as comedians and what we can get away with, and the simple fact that we're recording a podcast every single week, any week of which could be plucked and put on CNN. I hope CNN. I hope I get that big, not just like some local blotter. Just like Jesse Dram said such and such at his friend Neil Wood's house.
I'm not gonna settle for C-SPAN. I need CNN.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is stuff that's come up, and we've been talking like very in-group, out-group. What can you make fun of as a white man? And I say anything, as a white man should say, but I don't know.
What? Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, Jess,
Guys,
you can make fun of everything. It's just there will be backlash. There will be results if someone doesn't fucking like it. If people don't like it, that's what's going to happen. Why is this difficult to understand?
Well, yeah, you gotta be slippery about it.
You bring on these guests. We're about to get into you didn't tell them what the podcast is about. People who listen to this
They know
never
what
listened to it
podcast's
before. Yeah, they do.
I listen every week.
Yeah.
I listen.
Cool. What if there's a new listener right now? Jesse? Yeah, you didn't tell them what are you doing with your life?
If you're new,
You literally want this podcast to only be heard by other Philadelphia comedians. And I want to get a little better than that. Why don't you fucking snap to
you're
it?
also kind of saying that, like, why are you bringing up the thing that's been international
It
news
was
for a
national
week and a
news.
fucking half
Huge
now?
news.
Sure, good. But it's going to be like every flame bullshit that happened. It's going to be, yeah, Randy's off. Okay, cool.
That's
We're
true.
moving
It's
on.
already-
But
it's
no
already
one gives
gone.
a fuck.
All right, well, I'm
Fire's
just
out. Yeah.
Also,
plenty of people
first of
give
all,
a fuck.
Tell them what the podcast is. Then tell me why you guys were talking about this. So anybody
This
who
is the
doesn't know-
show where funny people discuss life's unfunniest things. We're going to talk about our dogs dying. We're going to talk
Thank
about our
you.
dicks not working. We're going to
thank
talk
you.
about our mom catching her dog's dick's not working. And that's
Oh.
just how it goes.
Love it.
This is all like within 1 week for me.
Yeah.
There we go. We
I've had
booked a
quite the
guest.
week.
Eddie,
You guys
how
got
was your
good
dog's
fodder.
dick?
You
Huh?
got in a car accident today.
Got in
Like
a
an
car
hour and a
accident?
half ago.
I got into it wasn't a car. It was a scooter accident.
accident.
And I did the classic fucking hit, flip over, slide, fucking 40 yard. I went down, dude.
Yeah?
Hard.
You got any-
Hard.
where are the marks? I wanna-
He's
They
got
wouldn't.
marks?
They wouldn't let me get up. All I did was
why you
fucking.
were-
I was-
Oh, okay. I saw you had some blood on a back elbow. I thought you were.
I haven't found them all yet.
There you go.
But it was like 6th and Spruce.
Okay.
And so there was like all these restaurants. So like 50 people came out to the middle of the street. 9 of them were on the phone with the ambulance.
Sure.
Okay.
And I was up before any of them got to me because I you hit, you find out if you're dead or not, and
Right.
then you just get up. Right.
Uh-huh.
And it was like Pulp Fiction when Bruce Willis hits Ving
Kathy
Rhames.
Griffin.
Yeah.
Like Kathy Griffin's or
I saw him get out of the car.
Yeah, they do the Dane.
Kathy
they do the Dane
Seinfeld.
Cook joke.
he was in the car and then he was over the scooter. Kramer!
Driver.
And then somebody started shooting at you. Is that
Dude, they wouldn't let me get up. I was fine. They put me back down in the middle of the street, and they were all on the phone with the ambulance before I even knew what happened. And I was like, "No ambulance, no si more ambulance."
You made so many white people's hero fantasies come true today.
Dude, I got right up, and there's footage somewhere because the buildings all have cameras there.
Uh-huh.
But
Whose fault was it?
It was
Well-
totally my fault.
Okay.
I already told the lady this.
Well, there you go.
It was
Well,
totally
the
my
lawsuit
fault.
is gone.
And I crawled through fucking blood and
Any jurors listening to this podcast, check out our back catalog.
I had to go. I couldn't wait for the cops. I was doing a podcast.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
God forbid. God forbid you were late for this,
You left
dude.
the scooter
I mean, we would have.
And it was the fourth quarter of the Eagles game. I was trying like the ambulance came and I was like, no. And there was people are just fucking nosy. They want to be involved in
Right.
everybody's shit.
Yeah, no, it's a
People
bunch
wouldn't
of-
leave.
Yeah,
I'm talking to the lady. She's scared to death. People are scaring her because she
It's
was this
one of
old.
those. Is it one of those? I'm guessing it looked awful.
It looked.
so. That's why when you
It
popped
looked
up,
like a fatality.
yeah, there's just sometimes when an event like when that kind of hurt happens, you're like, there's no way. Like they're getting up, and then they're like, woo, that was
Yeah,
that was almost bad, wasn't it? Like,
Flipping over a scooter.
Right.
I
and then
flipped,
skin
hit,
hitting
and
asphalt.
dragged
Right.
maybe 40 yards.
yeah, that was so. I get
the
it.
only
People were
thing-
concerned. What the fuck's wrong with them?
The only thing that broke my fall was my backpack covered my head. I wasn't wearing a helmet.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Well, why would
Wait,
you?
what kind of scooter is this
was a
exactly?
Vespa.
Vespa. Okay.
2012 Vespa. It's totaled.
It's dead.
It's still there.
Oh.
My keys were in the ignition.
as a reminder to anybody
They
else to try
broke
that
off.
fucking street.
It's being left up there
Flew.
like the
I had no
skull of
keys.
William Wallace. the four corners of Old City.
Oh my god, it was insane. Nothing like that's ever happened to me before. And of course, there's like people, get away from him, get away from him. There's people like on top of me. I was an EMT for 40 years. Let me,
Oh, my
you know.
God.
And it's
People are like Night of the Living Deading
Yeah.
like your situation. Like, can't get him down in the basement.
Literally.
It's a death trap down there.
I'll be your witness. I'll be your witness. I'm a medical
be
student
your
at
father's
Jefferson.
Everybody wants to be a witness. Everybody wants to be a witness in a trial.
Fucking keep it moving. I told the lady to get her car out of the street.
Well,
we
dude,
got my scooter off the street and
Well,
let's
that whole
fucking do the
area-
whole spiel.
That whole area, you know, it's a bunch of rich people who've never gotten hit by a car before. It's like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
I made their day.
yeah.
You're welcome.
They they assumed that you were just like a dog who got clipped and then you went off to die. Like, that's what they thought happened. They were like, no, he got embarrassed. He got real red in the face and he went off to die.
I was trying to look for my keys, and people were like following me like I was wandering off like an old fucking lady.
That's what happens when an erudite rich like Philly sees like trash Philly, and they're just like, yeah, they can get hit by cars, just walk away. And be like, woo.
I love that. Like, oh, the poor classes die just like dogs. They just crawl. They crawl into the nearest brunch restaurant to be alone.
He was trying to get out of her neighborhood as soon as he could. Didn't make it.
Well, I got in an accident one time with my buddy, and it was just like he's a shitty driver who he hit another shitty driver. It was just. And it was like right outside a bar, and all these people were smoking cigarettes outside a bar. This guy comes from that crew, and he's like covered in dirt. You know the people who have the half-smoked cigarette and it's in their ear? They put it out, yeah. And he comes over, and he's fucking just shit-faced, and he's just like, hey, you guys need a witness. I'm here. I gotcha. Yeah, we'll bring you in.
Everybody wants to be like, what do you want to do? Go to court? You know, I'm not going to court. It was my fault. I have insurance. That's what it's for. The scooter's totaled.
Right.
Ladies, all rise for homeless Larry.
I was doing the Awful Wrestling show last April, which they do at like 11th and Callow Hill, and I'm outside like vaping. I'm waiting for my roommate to show up.
Stand up or wrestling?
It's comedy wrestling. Awful wrestling. Check it out.
Old.
It's pretty great. I was playing the role of the body shamer, which was pretty great. But I'm outside. I'm waiting for my roommate to show up, and I see him cross the street. Like, oh, there he is. So me and my friend go back to talking. Then we hear like the sounds of smashing, and I turn just in time to see like a car hit my roommate, and it was like already in the process of stopping, but like he rolled for a bit, like and he kept going, and it was pretty fucked up. Yeah, he was fine.
Did he make it? No, he made it.
I mean, his wrist was fucked up, and he should have sued him for a little bit of medical shit because he missed some work. But nobody listens to Jesse.
He lived? Damn. I thought this was going to be...
I thought you said this was a good story. My leg is fucked up right now.
Yeah.
I'm working on a limp. Like I feel it when I'm going up steps. Like I was going up your steps. It's fucking all bloody. I'm bleeding into the jeans right now.
Well, luckily, there was only.
Is there any way we can see your leg again? This is a video.
It looks like I was mauled by
Is that blood on your leg?
I want to see.
It's blood coming through.
I want to see this. This will be our clip.
Let's see if you bring it up.
Children, this is why.
Anticlimactic.
This is why. Oh, okay.
It's not,
like
it's not bad, but it's fucked up on the inside.
True.
Is that swollen? Is that what that is? Yeah, that looks.
It could be swollen.
Nice
It's fuck-
yams.
I know.
Listen to the pain.
Are you?
Okay.
I was gonna say, were you literally
It fucking hurts.
miking your script?
No, it was more of a comical act out.
Gotcha.
Before doing, because that was a nice cold open. Why don't we get in a couple of pluggy pucks?
That's right. Yeah, guys. What do you
So
have to
this will
plug?
come out Thursday.
What do I have to plug? Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Oh yeah, why don't you take a back seat
Plug
to this?
Jesus, our Lord and Savior. You can catch him every Sunday.
Day-
Two
He
shows.
needs the press.
I want to plug the birds.
I wanted Eagles.
Angles.
I'll be on the number 9 bus
no,
every
so, I mean-
Thursday. To work.
How about well no, I mean boat bike, right?
I have a GoFundMe for
No,
my medical
do not
bills
come
on
to
my
Boat
leg.
Mike.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's right. The whole new thing is don't come to boat
We don't
bike,
want
right?
people coming. We're
I
like,
don't-
who's the jewelry guy?
Steven
Steven
Singer.
We're like Steven Singer. We don't.
Yeah.
I met him on a movie
But
set.
we're not
He's
being
shockingly
we're
funny.
not being ironic. We really don't want people.
Okay.
To
It's a Monday. I was there all weekend. Like I just left there, and I was.
Poor kid. He's there.
There's
If he's there any longer, he'd be a stool. You know.
Oh boy.
and I'm not saying you got to go back, but you got to go back to the boat.
I don't know, what do I know about boats? I sit down and I go in the water.
I don't know how to make a boat.
It's not even fair.
You're there any longer, you turn into a rudder. Oh my god.
Okay, so don't
Well,
go
plug
to
the-
boat.
You
Mike.
guys done, or
You know what?
you wanna keep going?
I'll plug the Ben Franklin yacht at the new location of Penn's Landing.
That's right.
I've got a very fragile truce with Penn's Landing right now. There was a couple of miscommunications when we first got there because we were rough. Coming from where we were, you guys know the old
Yeah.
spot. It was like a gated community. We did whatever the fuck we wanted. And people were just coming in there thinking it's the same old fucking thing. There's fires in the parking lot, loud music, tailgating. We got neighbors now. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, before we would light.
So-
we used to light fireworks every week.
Every
right.
single week. Roger and Linda would close out Boat Mike. There'd be maybe 4 people there.
They would sing
They would
"My
s-
Way" by Frank Sinatra.
And I would go out in the parking lot and set fireworks off.
That's right. And
It was-
I did My Heart Will Go On the first time I went there.
Oh, and there was fireworks for that. And that
really?
was 5 minutes
Yeah.
into the show. We had like 4 signups. And then everybody started coming.
Roger and Linda are the staple, just for people who don't know. Roger and Linda, we might have talked about, but yeah, they're a staple of Philadelphia.
Yeah, Roger and Linda
Open
are
mic community.
wacky. They're the George and Gracie of barely knowing where they are most of the time.
Yeah, it's Abbott and Costello meet any of the monsters. They're the monsters in in all those old movies. Yeah, they're
like the Stiller and Mirror of Kensington.
yeah, pretty much.
That's right. It's Abbott and Costello meet. Never
So
mind.
in that case,
Punch
I
it
want
up
to
later.
plug Penn's Landing. Go to Winterfest. They're going to have a nice ice skating rink for all the
Yeah,
kids
of
and the
course.
whatnot. It's a cool place, and I'm very happy there.
Whatever's best for the kids.
Yeah, I know. You're like, with all the kids, I will be setting off fireworks out of my car just to let everybody
But
know.
after 11 o'clock,
After there we go. I'm a nice guy. You know
kids
what
go
I
to
mean?
bed.
That was like our fucking neighbor. That's like our neighbor, like the guy clearly on
that
codeine.
Fucking idiot! What's it? Louis?
Yeah, I was
Clearly,
yeah.
he was on codeine, guys.
Oh, dude, he
That's
was
a
on.
weird one to call out.
Is it? No, he was on some form of codeine. guys.
Something was slowing his heart down.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had two South Philly kid names. It was like
Yes.
Rocco, and what was the other one?
Stacy. I don't remember. It was
Like
poor
Rocco,
kids.
Rocco and cheesesteak.
I
It was
couldn't
just-
wait for those child services
Yeah,
to come
they
and
lived.
take those
They
kids.
lived above us when me and him first moved into Philly, and they were just like all hours of the night knocking on the door, like, "Hey, and you guys got a cigarette? Like, we don't like you. Fuck."
Oh, I just loved it because
One of those.
he would take his just middle of the day, no reason, not near. This is normal now in South Philly. I'm used to it, but yeah, no one just take it out back. Just Chinese firecrackers. Is that racist? I don't know. Just the ones that go.
Against Italians or Chinese?
No, I don't know. Maybe both.
Marco Polo,
He would just take
bridging the
him
divide.
directly in front of our window.
Yep.
Just like, son, come here. We're gonna light on fireworks.
Go get your brother
in the middle
Silvio.
of the day, and just the first,
Those Italian fireworks. Ba, 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 ba.
Bada bing, bada pa, pa, pa.
Every time you bum cigarettes off that neighbor, it breaks your mother's fucking heart.
I'm looking forward to an hour and a half of this. I really am.
This is gonna be a nightmare. Yeah, but that guy was immediately when we saw him, just normal South Philly uniform. You know,
Yeah.
socks, sandals, black socks, white sandals, black.
He was wearing
shorts,
he was wearing the Gold Star wife beater because
yeah,
he was
Gold
also
Star
a
wife
wife beater
beater.
because we
Yes.
heard him often.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I loved him. Not
How
pretending to be on.
long
pills.
have you lived in South Philly?
Not too long. I mean, I've only ever lived here. So 5 years.
Yeah,
5-6 years.
2014. We're coming up on 5 years. Moved in
I haven't
December
moved
2014.
anywhere else, so it was always South Philly.
I fucking love South. I've been here
love
probably
it.
like 6 months, but I've worked around here my entire life.
Right.
With the
Okay.
boat. I don't even know where that area is. I
boat?
think it's considered Northern
Oh.
Liberties where we used to be.
Oh, wait, what?
Northern Liberties /
yeah.
Fishtown kind of
And
area.
honestly, when you get
Yeah.
to that, when you're over on Columbus, it's
So the
really
end of
its
spring
own thing.
Yeah, the end of spring garden
So-
is right there.
I fucking have seen things in the past couple months that I say to myself, like this guy was walking down the street. You know these big Italian guys, kind of like you're describing with the wife beater, the sandals, walking his small dog. They always have a small dog for some reason.
Yeah.
And he just, other neighbor sitting out on the stoop, and he goes, yo. And the guy's like, yo. And he goes, Chinese. And the guy's like, what? And he's like, Chinese. And that was the whole conversation. He kept walking.
Right.
Chinese. I say it to myself every single day.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that
I
sounds
love
about accurate.
those instances because I could walk out of my house and either be in the hood or the gentrified part of South Philly if I go left or right.
Sure.
Okay.
So I heard fucking commotion out there.
Where are you? Where is this?
I'm on.
Describe it.
I'm a 10-minute walk away. I'm
walk
South
there.
Chadwick,
Okay.
like 17th and more.
Right
on the corner.
Okay. Well, it's like, yeah, I get you.
Right.
The other side. Jesse's talking about the other side. The other side there.
I'm on the other side of Broad.
He's on the.
You ever been up there?
He's hanging. Yeah, you know what I mean. Here, he's still. He's on the Italian side.
Yeah.
I would say
I'm
that's
on
what I
I'm on
say
the
now.
Passyunk side right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
moving on up.
I thought I had my first South Philly fight
Really?
of the week.
Oh, it's always fun.
of my tenure.
Nice.
And I walked outside of here screaming and yelling.
Oh, South Philly mating calls they call it.
It's a fucking student film crew.
Oh,
So
really?
that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
folks.
See, that's where
I
it's
got
fun.
excited. It's just in my DNA to get
Yeah.
excited when I hear that stuff.
So you just remind me, you said South Philly mating call. I posted this on Facebook quite a few times because where we live was a lot of comedies. What the fuck am I talking? It was a lot of families. So there was the fucking, right when it started getting warm out, you would just hear like teen mothers fucking screaming at their children in the streets,
Yeah.
just wafting in the window like the beautiful soundtrack is spraying. Louis doing over there?
Yeah, it's
You know better than that.
What I say about going in my puss?
These kids, they don't listen. I mean, what?
No, and beat them with broom handles. Spit on our own floor.
You got to be tough with these kids.
Spit on our own floor.
They all had bad skin, and I love that makeup party. It looks like they're doing
Cheap
a fucking
clothes and bad skin.
science fiction experiments on the face of the blue paste.
Oh yeah, they look like fucking.
Phineas, kill him.
Her minute dead.
I said, keep your fucking hands off me, or I'm gonna chop them off.
We're gonna owe Martin Scorsese something after this. I think,
Let's just do a whole reenactment.
So I made my girlfriend cry.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And again, it was a political argument on like what you
20 minutes
couldn't
in.
get away.
I just want to say
out.
that right now. 20 minutes in.
And she said something at some point that I felt was very much oversimplifying the situation. And this is where I really fucked up. I said, "You sound like the PR person for Antifa." And that kind of got her. And where I was going, I wasn't saying you're an extremist, but the thing I always hear from Antifa, when people complain about them, Antifa, of course,
How often
being
do you talk
left
to them,
wing.
actually?
Yeah.
Listen, we've had better times.
Correspondence.
Let's just say, yeah. But the big
pen
dumb
pals.
the big dumb argument I always hear is somebody say like, these guys are called anti-fascists, but like they're beating the shit out of anybody who disagrees with them a little bit. And then the comment that comes back is like, well, actually, Antifa stands for anti-fascist. It's like, yeah, if I call my group of friends the No Ball Lickers Club, but all of us lick balls, then the name doesn't fucking mean anything. And that was the argument I was trying to make.
Where are you pulling
Was
this?
that the cry line?
Antifa to this date has not. I just want to make this very clear because this is 100% bullshit. What people are talking about. To this date, Antifa has not been charged with anyone from Antifa has never been charged.
You sound like the
with
PR
I know,
person
remember
for-
Antifa? I know, right? Has not been charged. Well, this has been a big thing. I mean, this is the spin that's happened. I'm not saying I'm for or against. I just mean this has been talked about many times with some of the news organizations that try to be independent. But Antifa has not been labeled for any of the violent acts that have happened, nor have they been prosecuted for any, nor have any. Even I think victims claim. Whereas when you talk about Antifa beating up people, they're being fascist, directly causation towards like Charleston and shit happened there. It's like, sure, Antifa has gotten into fights, and you see the microcosm that happen on college campuses. We all understand that, but. This zeitgeist of thing that Adam Nutter also gets claimed. These conspiracies with like Antifa, they're exactly what's happening. They're the devil, dude. They're trying to be. They are absolutely like okay.
You either pull up Antifa bike lock and you'll see something right away.
Yeah, you'll see a couple of instances of those. Yeah, a lot of them. But Antifa is also on its homepage is non-violent. Just to let you know, that is.
Oh, that's on
literally in their
that's on
tenets.
the homepage.
That's on the homepage.
Oh well, if
I
it's on the
thought it was on the
homepage.
homepage.
If it's on the
that's
homepage,
what it means.
Eddie, tell me, if it's on the homepage, how the fuck they gonna be violent?
Why would they put it there?
How are they gonna be fucking violent, Eddie?
I don't
That's
know.
what I fucking,
Google Antifa homepage.
Antifa.
I love that. That's another.
You went to the
self-really guy
water?
thing.
It's-
I don't.
Antifa.com/bio. It's all,
Yeah,
it's all there.
it's all there. It's all there. I just want to say because a lot of time when you talk about this, I just go like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, nor does that bear out in the statistics.
Antifa didn't do anything. You told me.
No, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, they definitely have been charged. You see, obviously, fights and things like that breaking out because they think they're fighting Nazis. You see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I don't agree with.
think being the key term.
You see that kind of stuff. I also don't like the thing college campuses, people not being allowed to speak. That's not how you encourage fascism. I don't want to talk about this. I just can't have fake news. Fake news.
Not
All right,
fake
you
news.
do fake
Hello,
news.
Antifa.
Antifa. Hello.
I'm looking
What
for
time
my-
are you
I'm
done at
looking
the
for-
salon?
I'm looking for my Antifa.
My Antifa, she's my mother's sister.
In the parlor.
She keeps punching people. They never catch you though.
Let's get to the heart of the thing, though. You made your girlfriend cry for the first time.
She started.
Which one was the cry line though?
How erect were you?
That was the one that really started the ball rolling because her argument was more or less like, you're making this as if these are not my actual personal opinions and I've just been brainwashed to think this way.
Right.
Which I would like to point out, like, that's what she got out of me saying Antifa. So, brainwashing right there. Okay. But I apologize profusely.
Yeah, why don't you go sleep at your
Because of-
Antifas?
Oh, God.
I'm taking the kids to my Antifas. Oh God, I'm never gonna stop now.
I don't know how nobody's come up with space
Antifa.
Tifa. That's pretty fucking great. Yeah, if you want to pull up the video of that dude getting hit with a baton
Yeah,
and then
no,
getting
we've all
knocked
seen it.
out, it's pretty amazing.
Wasn't there a milkshake incident as well, where like
I actually haven't seen a whole lot of
allegedly there
milkshakes.
was like they threw a milkshake at this alt-right
Right.
blogger.
Yeah.
But apparently the milkshake had like cement in it. It was fucking crazy. It's not worth paying attention to.
Really?
Right. Well, no, I've seen that a few times where the anti-racist, anti-fascist people were, beating the shit out of a Hispanic guy who disagreed with them. So that kind of shit.
No, they jumped the shark. They jumped the shark when they started doing like not letting people speak. As soon as you start doing that, you start doing the stuff that fascists do. So it becomes the issue of it there. But they, of course, I think where the representation made sense. I mean, there were groups doing that. I mean, in Germany when that was going on. Not to compare, but
I remember that was actually one of the memes I kept saying anytime when somebody was trying to support Antifa, they'd post a photo of like the Normandy D-Day invasion, and they'd caption it like anti-fascist activist 1944, which like, okay, pretty funny, but at the same time, like every single person there you would consider fucking Nazi if you met them face to face. The people who fought the Nazis, you would consider them Nazis.
The
God damn.
line is at a different. They've moved the line of what fascist is.
Exactly. When you call everybody a fascist or a Nazi, then nobody's a fascist or a Nazi. I swear I'm left wing. I just don't like these people.
It's a very strange because I don't even know where I fall. I know where I fall, but I don't even know. I'm like I have stuff in my DNA that's been passed down from generations that it's not.
It's called whiteness. You're supposed to be sorry for
I'm
it.
a straight white male. I'm not racist, but I don't talk like the other. You know what I mean?
Racist, dude. It's all right.
Fuck you.
No, you are. We're all racist. I mean, that's what
the thing.
actually minority groups will make fun of you if you say you're not racist, because minority groups are racist. You can say you are all racist to a fact.
It's like a treadmill.
Yeah, everybody. It's like when I'm a male feminist. It's like, well, come on.
Right.
Just be nice. Just be fucking treat people. The right way.
Right.
Like,
do unto others is what you're
exactly.
saying. Mr. Marcella taught me that at Chatham Park
Yeah,
Elementary.
I was listening to some wonderful. I don't know how much how often do you guys look up maybe like white supremacy? How often you ever got to join homepage?
I only really just
check the homepage.
When I
they
bump
say they're
into
not
them,
violent.
I bump into them personally from time to time.
Yes.
I don't know what.
No, I was just listening. I found myself today being like someone who's nodding along to a woman doing research with like difference between like white supremacy, white nationalism, just even that difference. I was like, oh, like interesting. I was like, I shouldn't be interested in this. Like those moments of like, that's the difference. Like white Christian identity being not like just a white person who has Christian identity. That's actually a thing where it somehow got leaked into religion where the Christian early view, like that's Ku Klux Klan 1920s,
right?
Is the white Christian identity. Right. Somehow they started to come up with their own ideas of like, Jesus wants America to be white. Like that's like its own thing, which is beautiful.
My favorite part about American History X is when they take a shot at the Klan because it was their own thing. Edward Norton's like, you think I'd be involved with some unorganized piece of shit ragtag bunch of fucking?
It's
like,
true.
That was supposed to be their movie.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
still, well, that was the neo-Nazi verse because you have the big switch in 1983. Sorry, I would really listen to this podcast. 1983, but that's when you realize that we beat back the Klan in the 1920s. And then that's why, like, that character in there's like, fucking, the Ku Klux Klan is dead, dude. We're about neo-Nazis now.
They're hacks.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, put another fucking bag
Women
on your
be
head.
shopping. Women be shopping.
I'm trying to see if I can find the clip. One of my favorite ones ever, which again, just the fun, like, intra-racists fighting. There was a clip of Jerry Springer back in the day where it was a bunch of Klansmen on the stage, and then one of them goes like, you know what, I can't go along with this shit anymore. And everyone in the crowd's like, yeah, take it off. Get away from that shit. And he takes it off, and he's wearing a brown shirt and a swastika armband.
Jesus.
Like that was his heel-er turn. Just going even darker.
it was Healy. It was not quite all the way there.
A friend of mine, his
Do you have any Nazi friends?
Nazi
No,
friends.
Did you ever? Nazi acquaintances.
I only know a guy
getting
that
there.
Aryan, not like Nazi, but like it was a jail thing where he had to join
yeah, you
something.
have to.
So he has the tattoos and some of the beliefs. You know?
Okay.
But not like he doesn't go to the meetings, you know.
Neil, if you got locked
So that's
up,
white
how quick-
supremacy, technically.
If you got locked up, how quick until you joined the Aryan Nation?
I'm going gay real quick. I don't think I'm going to join that. I think I'm going to go straight. Yeah, I'm going to be a working girl.
Okay.
I think I'm doing a working girl.
But who would your
gay,
husband? What gang would your husband be?
That's the thing.
You know what? That's up to him.
You
That's you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna let him be alpha.
I just make sure he's got
now,
food on the
if
table.
you give enough gummies, can you go from group to group? And
Yeah.
Damn. I'm gonna be.
That's the alternative to the normal prison thing. Find the biggest guy and punch him out. Like, no, just find the biggest guy in the yard and
Suck his
start
dick.
blowing him. And it's
Hey, they're
like,
gonna call me Long
hey,
Bottom.
hey, daddy,
You know what I mean? It's gonna be real good.
you got
I'm
nothing.
excited.
I got nothing but storage space in here. Look how lanky.
No,
Sorry,
it's-
you said something about your aunt.
Not my aunt. My friend's aunt. His aunt was coming over for dinner at his parents' house, and she was like, "I'm bringing my new boyfriend." And they met the guy. Seemed like a nice guy. They were eating dinner. Everyone was laughing, having a good time. And after dinner, he just like put his, like his elbow up on the table, and when he stretched, his shirt came down, and it revealed like part of a swastika tattoo
Oh yeah,
on his forearm. I'm like,
that's called a Belmar birthmark where I'm from.
yeah. But it was like he asked his aunt about it. She's like, "Oh, that was just a phase."
Somebody's really into back in his early 20s when he was a fully developed man.
Yeah, like when I think back on nostalgia, I think of like TRL and new metal.
Yeah.
This guy had a whole
It's not
other
like my Limp
experience.
Bizkit tattoo. It's like more of a commitment.
Neil, you haven't told the story when I took you to a Nazi party recently. You
Why
wanna
would
get
I
into
talk
it?
about that? Because we specifically said we weren't going to talk about that. I thought just because it's not. I mean, there's no evidence, which I'm glad about.
There's no
You
evidence.
guys go Wednesdays or
Right, nice. Come on, that was funny.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. I don't like that at all. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just one of those things where I was like, all right, yeah. I mean, Jesse's from the same kind of trash I'm from, and then we went, which I didn't grow up around that trash.
Right. No, this was
My trash was-
my ex-girlfriend invited me to a little party near to my home, basically.
woods?
Yeah.
4 blocks away from his house in
Yeah.
a cul-de-sac. Like it's not a cul-de-sac, but it's like in your little block.
Yeah, it's not far.
there.
It's back there.
It's right there. And then he's like, "Oh, you guys want to see some stuff in the garage?" I was like, "We're probably gonna see like a snowmobile this guy just got or something." I mean, dude, check it out, dude. Right?
he's gonna show you his record
And then it's
collection.
just all Nazi fucking shit. And I'm like, Jesse, I cannot be here, dude. Like, look
Yeah.
at me. If Jesse's like, "Oh no, it's good," I'm like, Jesse, you see a problem with this ever? Because he
I
didn't
do.
have it as a joke. He wasn't like, "Oh yeah, my dad got this from Nazis he killed."
like
he was like,
we all have ironic Nazi memorabilia.
"Yeah, you get it. Like you're getting it, right?"
I prefer satirical Nazi propaganda.
My Nazi propaganda is from the set of the producer, so it's comical in nature.
That makes
Okay.
sense. Yes.
Same swastika, different meaning.
Right. Yeah, of course. No, it's got a comedic twist, I think is what they call it. Mel Brooks approved. So, yeah, I was just like, can we go? Like, immediately. Immediately, I was like, can we go? Like, now, I don't want to be here. Because I've been around, like, there was racist guys that I grew up with, of course.
Right.
But I grew up in actually a pretty diverse kind of neighborhood. I mean, not, well, diverse for America. It was white, Hispanic, and black. That's about as diverse as you're going to get.
Neapolitan.
Yeah, that wasn't any exactly. But that's why it threw me off. Like there was a couple of racist kids I did growing up with, but not to the extent of like you
Oh,
think
no,
it's acceptable to walk me in and just be like,
really-
"Yeah, look at it, isn't it fancy?" You like red, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was just you go in, he's showing you like old Coltrane records, and like he's just really into the Harlem Renaissance, and
Right.
he's just like one of the happening woke white guys.
No, what? Why would that be cool?
Oh, you're saying like this was just a facet of what he was into?
No, he was just like he seemed one way, and then he's just really into black culture,
Okay,
especially Harlem in the early 1920s.
right? Of course, I get you. I understand. That would be kind of crazy. That would be a very big paradigm shift if he was.
Would you stay longer, or would it be even more boring?
What, if he
like at least the
first-
first
if
thing
he-
was interesting.
If he first was talking, well, one, it sounds like so he's appropriating culture inside. He was like, "Nah, I'm super into black music from the 1920s," and then takes me to the garage and is like, "Also, they had ideas." Like it's not. I don't know. Probably neither. Yeah, I don't know. I
Do you buy people that are like, I'm just a fan of the era? You ever get that argument?
well, Jesse had some of that, dude. He went through a little renaissance of. You had some jokes about it, right? You got back into hip hop.
Oh yeah.
You were of the era. You liked it. You were just like, "Oh man, I do like this more."
into an era sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. Well, not specifically
Can we-
the Nazi era, which
No,
is
no.
he's
What? No, I was
suggesting.
talking about the music for. No, I was talking about.
I know.
Yeah, because you wrote jokes about Biggie and Tupac and stuff like that. Because you
Right.
started going back and listening to more rap.
Yeah, listening
How
back.
about phases? Did you guys? What were your teenage phases that you had?
Oh, dude, I was all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I was too.
I was
got
all over the place.
you. Okay, you shut up then. What was
I had
that?
a couple,
Gotcha.
but they're not interesting though.
Well, what? Okay, well let us determine what's not interesting. What, I mean, what?
Tell us what it is,
What
and
do you
we'll
mean?
make fun of you for it.
Yeah,
We'll see how
exactly. I'm like,
interesting it is.
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
this shit up. Well, early on, I was very, I was like just really into like writing and sports journalism.
You
It's not
fucking
interesting.
dork.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not that interesting.
Yeah, look at me.
Like
The Eagles are doing
when
a
I was a
thing.
kid, I was obsessed
That's
with Ray
cool.
Didinger. Like that was like
Fucking
that was, like,
love Ray
the person I
Didinger,
liked.
dude.
Was Ray Didinger.
We were just talking about Ray
He's like
Didinger.
a historian and football.
Fully Eagles historian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
niche.
not really that interesting. Yeah, it was a little niche.
It's,
And then,
I love how terrible a
I
speller
can't
Neil
spell
is.
worth a shit, dude. I'm bringing
Did
this
you just
over
try to
here.
type Didinger?
Do it to myself, dude. Don't even.
He's a great writer, though.
Well, because the accents too. So it's Didinger.
I had a
right?
very
Didinger.
heavy
I was
Eagles.
close, you dick. Kind of.
I swear you were
It
like you were
recorrected.
like an auditory dyslexic because you could say like, "Oh, this is my friend Ben Garant," and you see him try to spell it, and there's like 3 Q's and an X, like it's a fucking like
I
Incan
have-
god that's going to come
I
and
have,
devour us
from a
any day.
young age, always been as soon. The moment someone's like, "Go type that" or something in front of people, I'm immediately fall apart. I immediately do. I'm not kidding. If you want to see me, give me any math problem in front of a crowd. You will see a person be the most nervous they have ever been.
All right, can we pull this up real
No,
quick? Can we pull
no,
up the
I'm
video?
just
and let's
looking
do
up
some
right down
challenge?
the jar. I don't
Mind
want
if
to.
I'm gonna go grab something out of the fridge.
You know what? Grab me,
yeah,
grab
go.
me one too.
Oh, God damn it. Now go. So I'm just fucking with. I'm just kidding. I like to fuck with Jesse because he's usually has very strict rules about drinking before a certain time just because of his anxiety.
I'm expanding my alcohol.
That's good. No, hey, look at
Good
you,
to
buddy.
dabble, you know.
That's right. I'm gonna add 2 more teams.
My
a
phase
week.
when I was young was I wanted to be like, you get really into like Hemingway and Hunter Thompson when you're
Yes,
like really
yes.
and you want to be like so good at writing, but you have to be drunk or high for it.
Yep.
And then no work gets done.
Yeah.
That's,
Some people just operate that way.
Yeah, no,
Very
it's true.
rarely.
You know who's followed that to its logical conclusion is comedian James Mashuli. Nah,
What's the logical
he's a fun
conclusion
guy.
to that?
No, well, actually, I know.
My conclusion was heroin.
Oh, okay. No, I've known a few
just-
people who've done that. It's like, oh, if I'm going to be a great writer, I clearly need to be like fucked up all the time, like this guy.
There's like 2 examples.
This Hemingway, this Hunter S. Thompson,
Bukowski to a certain extent.
Bukowski. Every Irish writer was a terrible drunk.
Right, but you go into this.
Burroughs, Kerouac, Ken Casey.
Miller? No, like some people were just like.
Let's
just
just keep
big
saying
pieces of
last
shit.
names to each other. Foster, O'Leary, Lovable Monsters, available in the Drop 10 media thing. I popped out of that instantly.
I think that
right,
you
so
should
think-
get into that at a young age and discover it's not for you, and then keep doing what you like doing. Because I liked both things, but I just went deeper into the other thing.
Okay. So, how old were you when you're getting into that? Like, and who was the first one? Was it Hunter S. Thompson?
Probably Hunter S. Thompson because like
Fear and Loathing the movie pulls a lot of people.
Fear and
in.
Loathing the movie. You're like you want to watch it on weed, and fucking I don't like that movie.
I don't like that movie either.
I love Hunter
So-
Thompson. I love the movie. I like Where the Buffalo Roam with Bill Murray better.
That's a pretty. I don't know. It's a little too weird for me. Like
It gets very weird.
That hotel is just solely staffed by like Mexican midgets, and they never address it.
Peter Boyle and Bill Murray, like they're fucking great.
Peter Boyle, I'm in.
Yeah. All
Where the
about it.
Buffalo? He plays a better Hunter S. Thompson than Johnny Depp.
Bill Murray. Well, I don't know if you know this, but you probably do know this. But Bill Murray spent a lot of time with Hunter S. Thompson trying to get that movie made, and apparently they were like repeatedly trying to one up each other, and their friendship came to an end when Hunter S. Thompson duct taped him to a deck chair and pushed him into a swimming pool. So,
Just fooled around.
God, remember when celebrities used to be fucking animals
Yeah, they
like
were
that?
awesome.
Fucking fun.
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
I don't know. I think it's still around.
They all got publicists and Twitters.
Did you see? Yeah, sure. Everything's. If you're a celebrity predicated on how many people need to love you and idolize you as a god, well, then it's kind of tough if you're being
mystique
seen all the
isn't
time.
there anymore, and
yeah,
it's
but Between Two Ferns was a lot of fun. I think that's the closest things we're getting to the modern equivalent of being able to like look at a celebrity in their eyes and be like, "So your last 3 movies were absolute shit. How do you feel about that?" Like it's been pretty. It's a pretty good movie if you want to check it out.
It's a good
on
movie.
Netflix.
Remember when Obama was on?
Yeah.
Between Two
yeah.
Ferns?
And he asked God.
He probably say the same thing.
Yeah, it's such a crazy and he said he said so Zach Galifianakis sits him down and he checked beforehand. He's like, did he see this question here? Publicist for the publicist and many handlers. She was like, yeah, it's probably fine. And he's like, that's not the right answer. Because the question was like, how does it feel to be the last black president? Which is such a fucking hilarious, such a fucking hilarious question. I mean, so I feel like more of those are good, but I feel like there's a lot of them that you can't do.
That was like 6 months before he would have gotten in a lot of trouble.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Sure. No,
He did get in a little trouble.
Did he?
He did. People,
did?
well, just like Twitter outrage.
Oh,
I remember that happening.
Did you hear the estimates about fucking Twitter? The terms of the populace on Twitter active. It is like 50,000 people. There's no one on fucking Twitter like that matters. Like it's not. That's why when people get upset, I like Adam Nutter, a friend of mine. He'll be like, these fucking people with the. I'm like, dude, you're talking to like a micro fraction
It's
of the
just
country. No one cares.
Yeah.
I'd like to plug my Twitter.
Yeah, plug your
Verzella.
Twitter. Go ahead, buddy.
That's where, like, because I don't do that stuff on Facebook or Instagram.
Right.
That personal shit. I just like writing like a quick, funny thing and making people laugh.
That's good.
You know?
Okay. What's your handle?
At Eddie Verzella, and my handle is Eddie Verzella.
Okay, Neil, could you pull that up and can we find something
Oh, please.
controversial?
Come
Yeah,
on.
let's find
Let's
something.
see how
else.
quickly we
I'm
go.
gonna bring it over here because I can't spell
Hopefully
it.
it's fucking private. I'd love to see you spell Verzella.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say,
Does it
hey,
start
you wanna
with an M,
spell
Neil?
that? It starts with an M. Yes.
Let's see. Ooh, we called them a bunch of Godzilla fleers. That's a
Don't go back to 2012. Don't go back to 2012.
I've honestly been-
It's always 2012 people get in trouble for.
It's all fun and games till he gets into the Guatemalans. Don't get him started.
Oh god. Have you seen their money? It's so fruity. It looks like a fucking mojito. I've actually been thinking. I've been thinking back lately. Of like, I really should probably go on Facebook and just scrub the past. What do you think of that?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Have you
you're
done
just
it?
gonna be- yeah, but I like never
that-
posted anything on.
Yeah, there you
okay.
are.
I went
you
through
son
it
of a
because I was
bitch.
like, I definitely said.
It's private, isn't it?
I
Oh,
definitely.
shit.
fucker.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring this up on the.
Yeah, I went through and there was surprisingly nothing.
72 followers.
All
Yeah,
right.
dude, don't
That's
be
what I don't
gloating.
like. That's a video of my dad power washing a hose in the,
In the
pouring
rain.
In the pouring rain.
Oh wow, that's pretty beautiful, actually.
What's up with that? Why is he power washing? Why?
You start a thing, you got to
fucking
finish it.
savage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
You guys,
good for you.
I got some Captain Lucky stories if you need them.
Let's get into here. Let's see
His
some
name's
things.
Captain Lucky.
Okay.
Not on
So for
Twitter.
our
His
people-
real life handle is Captain
So
Lucky.
for our people who don't, for people who are not viewing us on YouTube, which you can if
You
you
don't
like
gotta
to.
read them out loud.
Yeah,
or,
we
you know.
can read them out loud. No, I'm just kidding. I will do that. I will do that probably.
I
Waitress,
already see
what
it.
can I get for you? Me, good. How are you? Fucking sharp tweet, dude.
that's sharp,
Fucking
right?
sharp tweet.
That's pretty sharp.
I like it.
I mean,
yeah, but these are just your goings on. This makes sense.
These are like, remember Larry King in the USA Today?
right.
you know.
I care for the color blue.
Yeah.
Was that his,
King's
like,
Things.
King's Things. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking like,
I like to Norm McDonald's.
I like doing that, but
telling you,
I'm not reaching enough people. And that's the poison of the internet.
72 is not bad.
This is more than I probably have. Well, actually, no. Here's the thing. I still have a bunch of leftovers from when I ran a porn blog for the company I worked for. That got me a lot of follows, and I cannot, if I am at work or in a public place, I cannot look at my feed because there's still a bunch of old porn stars out
And a
there.
porn blog for work.
Yeah, I worked at a porn site, hotmovies.com,
Wow.
and I wrote a lot of very fun blogs for them. And I spent a whirlwind evening with Ron Jeremy once. Where,
Did you really?
Yeah, me and him went to see Ari Shafir at Helium, and then we got backstage at a Guar concert. So I literally lived like the Beavis and Butthead video game one night.
Ron
It was
Jeremy has
pretty
just been
strange.
around forever.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
You know, he's always in something, just around. Much like the green room with Paul Provenza, he's just in the audience.
Yeah.
Just all
Exactly.
the time.
So
Yeah. Go ahead, buddy.
well, no, I was going to say, I
are
was
you
going to
pulling
ask
up?
if you could. I wanted to see if I could pull up some of those old Kings
Oh,
things.
Jesus Christ. Trashy upbringings for both of you. Where were you?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, right. I mean, I don't need to say it. No,
that just
I'm
an
Garbage.
assumption being
You
made?
explain.
No, I'm wondering. So we talked phases. We kind of got some of those, which is I like that. High school years. What were they like?
I
Where
liked high
where'd
school.
you went to? You all? in
No, I
Philly?
moved out of
Delco.
Philly.
No,
I
you
went
moved
to. I
Delco.
moved to
We're both
Delco.
Delco.
We went to the same high school, me and Eddie.
Shit.
Did you know each other back then?
Bad.
No,
No,
I've
I
actually
went
I've
to
only
high
known
school
Eddie
with-
for 1 year.
With
wow.
Isn't that great?
Connor.
Yeah, he was my
with.
brother.
Okay.
Right.
All I
Trying to compensate with everything, Connor. That's what I.
I know what you're gonna say.
I had you know what I'm gonna say. I had this football coach who I saw like 5 years ago, and he was like, we were really tight. We've always kept in touch, and then I lost his. I didn't have his phone. Whatever. And I bumped into him in person, and he was like, "Oh, I got a new number." He's just like, "There's this fucking piece of shit, Eddie Verzella." He goes on some long thing about this guy, Eddie, and I'm like, "All right, I'll steer clear of Eddie Verzella." And then 5 years later, I'm like, thinking about it, I'm like, "Oh, that was Eddie Verzella." I was like, "This guy's like my best friend."
What did you do to this man?
Apologize.
Would you honey
Should I
pot
not
the
have brought
football
that
coach,
up?
or would you?
No, I mean, I'm sure. I want to apologize. I haven't, it's probably not good to contact him and apologize,
Yeah, I would let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah, but I want, if he ever hears this, I want him to know I'm sorry. But we just had a whole big beef. High school, I dropped out
Texting
in
him right
10th
now,
grade.
and he's not
Okay.
really sorry.
A lot of drugs. It was fueled by drugs and fucking paranoia
Sure.
and crazy fucking thing. And I got in this big beef with this teacher, and it was a whole thing.
Gotcha.
Now,
Ending with
It's
my graduation
Eddie,
day.
you can't do heroin in class. We've talked about this multiple times,
You're
dude.
supposed to be the emotional support teacher.
so, how deep into drugs did you really get?
Oh, fucking deep. As deep as you can
what-
really go.
All right, well, what age?
Homeless on the streets of Hollywood kind of deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my first iteration of I'm gonna go to Hollywood after high school. Fucking half pot, half opioids.
Okay.
And then more opioids, less pot, and then it just kind of turns into. Interesting story, real quick. First guy, perk 30s were big.
Sure.
Before that, it was the 80s.
Hey, you were
That
basically.
area, pills,
I love
Percocet,
the
it's just not even.
80s opioids.
It's so you could be having a casual conversation with someone and it wouldn't be out of line for them to just be like, "Yeah, okay, I just want."
It was almost coke in the
Yeah,
80s.
yeah, it was like coke. In
My
the
pot
Delaware
dealer-
County.
Started selling the 30s. I missed the 80s. I was too young.
No, yeah.
Started selling 30s, so I was like, try one. And then I did one. And
Purdue
I started,
Pharma got you,
Started
baby.
buying less. Oh, fucking motherfuckers, dude.
Yeah,
Have you
dude.
been following that story?
Yes. Very
So,
closely.
long story short, I get, I bought him out years later. The guy who sells me my first Perk 30,
Right.
I'm on drug court in Delaware County. The guy that sold me my first Perk 30 is the sheriff that if you fuck up in drug court, he arrests you.
What?
And takes you to jail.
What the fuck? He really turned it around more than you did. I guess.
I'm proud of him.
yeah, no, look at him, man. His rehabilitation was I gotta stop
That or he's
kids.
just a sheriff that hustles.
Yeah.
See,
Everybody's got to earn a buck,
Yeah. Now, I remember when my old high school group, when they started getting into perks, a few of them, that was the first time where I was like, I don't really think this is for me.
Yeah, that's how
I was so fucking not into what's the word I'm looking for? Oblivious to fucking Perk 30s because they were just introduced with weed.
Ugh.
Purdue Pharma got it. A lot of people good.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely aware of what's happening with the Purdue Pharma right now. If you could enlighten me.
This is what pisses me off. I care about maybe 4 or 5 issues. I don't care about how people talk to each other because my friends are dying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Purdue Pharma, something about they getting sued by countless counties, lots and lots of counties, hyping up the opioid epidemic, lowering fears about potential for addiction, yada, yada. The Sackler family owns Purdue Pharma. They want to settle with the Sackler family's money, but really not going to get money from them. They're big philanthropists. They have a lot of, friends in high places. So the company Purdue Pharma goes into bankruptcy, and they still can make money off of, the Vivitrols and stuff that they produce that gets people off opioids.
Yeah.
So recently what came out is they were just moving, the Sackler family was moving billions of dollars around, wire transfers and everything else. But at the end of the day, money wins.
Okay. I
So,
remember the one thing I really heard about them was they found a natural thing called kratom that was actually really good for people trying to kick shit like that. And the pharmacy companies were specifically lobbying to have that shit made illegal.
Yeah.
That
was a thing on drug court too. People would get caught doing kratom all the time.
I thought kratom is
What is
illegal?
freedom?
Yeah. Well,
Kratom's
I don't think
illegal?
it's illegal. It's like that spice they sell at gas
that's-
stations where it's it's
that's-
legal,
yeah.
but you can't do it if you're on probation. You know what I mean?
That doesn't make any sense to me. Honestly, my entire knowledge of kratom is I'm a big fan of Kurt Metzger, and he has a new podcast, and he's pretty much sponsored by a kratom company. that,
really?
That he actually gets really personal.
I love Kirk, dude.
What is
Okay,
it?
well, he
What
actually
is
gets
great
really
in that?
personal, where he flat out says, like, yeah, so pretty much all the years you were a big fan of me on Race Wars, I was heavily addicted to OxyContin, and this is the shit that helped him
It
kick
happens
it.
to so many fucking people.
It's like, my dad died from OxyContin.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, he mixed it with booze, so
Yeah,
Right.
but
so a little more OxyContin than Jack Daniels, but I mean, I don't know.
Hell of a mix.
there's a lot of people. You'd be shocked how many people were just out in the world,
Yeah.
high on pills.
I saw a guy was
all
getting a
fucking
tire
time.
changed the other day, and I saw a guy comes up to me, and he's just like, just waiting for a guy to get back to me. He's like, I'm willing to pay for it, but he's just fucking around, like just making friendly conversation. But he's obviously talking about a pill deal. He's wearing like an apron. You know?
That's nice of him trying to make nice idle conversation about
Yeah.
dealers.
Well, it doesn't matter because it doesn't discriminate. You know?
Sure.
Like,
No, it really.
you know what? An argument I hate is like, it's happening to all these white kids now, and it's just like, not really. Like, it happens to black kids, happens
Yeah.
to Mexican kids, happens to like the bottom line.
No,
is
actually,
kids.
well, yeah. I mean, what?
They're not making flavored OxyContin.
Well,
you know?
Sure.
I do have the argument about that, though, when they're always like, oh, when it was cracking black kids, everybody was all over it then. But then once it
Yeah.
comes to the white
Yeah,
neighborhoods,
that's true.
like,
That's
there's not exactly gangs forming around prescription drugs that are shooting people and civilians all the time. That's why it got so fucking...
So first of all, yeah, I mean, the crack epidemic was considered an epidemic, but was also labeled as a black problem. That was the difference of, and also was seen as really demonized the black community. The black community was very upset about it, actually, in general, because they saw those drugs proliferated around, so it was a whole problem. But I would say the opioid crisis. I think who has it? Oh my gosh, black female comedian, cannot remember her name right now.
Leslie
Wanda
Bones Jones.
Sykes.
Wanda Sykes, did a great joke. She was like, black people stayed away from opioids.
Yeah.
White people got them like candy for no reason. Like they didn't even understand why. But it did, I think, adversely. But it was just pushed as a different dealing of pain. That's the whole Purdue Pharma thing. It's just like you had up until like the 80s and 90s just people treating pain differently. But then because of Purdue Pharma, they were they situated themselves with, this is how we should treat pain, and we should start talking to doctors and indoctrinating doctors to believe that they should treat pain like this.
They honeypot the doctors,
Yeah.
the pharmaceutical
And then
reps.
it got to the point where there was a small, I can't remember the state. There was a small pharmacy that just came out. That one that was the amount of people in the town. I think was around
Something
the
like
low
5,000,
thousands.
yeah.
5,000 people. It was clearing over like 40,000 prescriptions in a month.
Jesus.
The
parking lot,
video,
like
the
cones.
video was just people coming up, walking in, and there was one found in California that had like clear like pimps and drug addicts just outside.
I saw some
These are-
documentary where there was a town in Florida that was like it just existed solely
Yeah,
to just get prescriptions filled.
and these are the abuses that they're trying to find out now. But I mean, no one's going to jail, right?
Nobody's
'Cause
going to jail,
right,
and
it's-
they didn't care if you fucking
Yeah.
got them on your health insurance and then sold them.
Right.
You know, like, because they got their money, and it's game's over. I mean,
So literally just profiting off pain
no-
and blood
nothing,
and-
because there's a whole nother side. There's recovery culture, and that's especially in this part of the city.
Right.
No permit to have a recovery house.
Right.
You know, nothing.
Yeah, it's a whole
fucking
industry on its
kickbacks on the urine test.
Right.
You know,
I-
insurance and all that. It's fucking.
I'm really not picking up what you're putting down. Could you get a little more in detail, specifically what you're talking about?
So-
Is there some kind of scam going?
There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of people that mean good, but there's
Legal
a lot
scams.
of people.
It's Right. legal
There's a lot
scams.
of people that just have basically flop houses in this fucking city.
Oh, and they have them deemed to be recovery houses, and they take whatever
They
money.
do not
from
need. They have no oversight. They collect 150 a week for a room. You can either go to meetings or not. No piss test. You know,
shit.
and then like just the industry of fucking rehab in general.
right.
That's another fucking.
Of course, yeah. There's
It's
no
another song and dance that people need to make money from at the end of the day. Like the rehab I went to in upstate fucking Pennsylvania
right.
is a fucking like capitalist fucking machine. Like just
Sure.
cutthroat fucking. I went to recovery house after, and the guy that ran the recovery house pissed off somebody at the rehab. So the rehab did not send anybody to the recovery house until there was a full apology. Like kiss the ring shit is going on. Firing people that like stray from the script of like, you know, just fucking, yeah. It's bad.
I mean, those are the worlds that like and not to. I feel very sorry for people who have to go through it. I've been around addiction a bunch, certain levels. No one in my family directly So it's one of those things when I hear stories and then hear the industry built around them, it's just fucking insane.
But there's so many people I know that just because they were from a certain area at a certain time.
Sure.
Like I know a lot of people who I'm related to people who it's like they would have been a drug addict or an alcoholic no matter what their life was like, they would have.
Right.
But I know other people who were just normal kids that would never even have been around that shit, and they do something, get into that shit, and then out of nowhere you're like, they're a heroin addict. You're like,
Yeah.
that girl's a heroin
That's
addict?
what happened to my sister.
That's
Quickly.
Not,
Yeah.
really?
Quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
fucking
just not
terrible.
Because what happens is market's flooded with pills. They're not selling as much weed. They drive down the price of heroin. That's where you get the fentanyl and
Yeah,
everything
that's
fucking
how
else.
I remember that
It's
switch
cheap
too
as
with
fuck.
my friends when it was like everybody was doing pills. And you're like, oh, okay, this is fun. Everybody's doing pills, and then out of nowhere, the two people dip into heroin. And like, yeah, well, it's cheap as shit. And you're like, cheap
as shit, it
We're
gets
all
you
just doing
higher.
heroin now. Yeah.
See, this is the thing that annoys me when they still try to put like the marijuana as like the gateway drug. It's like, well, yeah, everybody starts with weed because it's not that rough and it's
Right.
easy to get. But you're always going to have your certain amount of people that like something else that'll turn off my brain.
Yeah.
Fucking give it to
I'd
me.
say it's
And
a gateway
it's
drug
not hard
for
when
me
you're-
personally, not for anybody else.
Right.
Not for everybody.
Well,
And
they-
when you're 13, it's not hard to find a guy in the neighborhood who's willing to.
Yeah, they-
pizza delivery driver is one to drop off.
Exactly.
It's such a bummer that we something is a gateway drug. It's the idea. It's that a cause and effect thing of right. It's like weed kind of prevailed throughout the country. There wasn't a place in this country really from the onset of or ever like that you couldn't really buy weed or get weed in some way, shape, or form when it was legal even right. Like way back, I'm talking right. It was just the first drug that you would come in contact with.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the idea that
well,
people who are more susceptible to addiction
Right.
would do that first and then go on to more addiction.
And it
of
does also
course.
have to do with the fact that the manufacturing process for weed is literally you plant a fucking seed
Right.
and you water
Yeah.
it and then you whisper sweet things
Sure.
into it.
That's why I'm not surprised
Play
that
it some Pink Floyd.
anyone who
monster.
has,
You
you
can
know,
make gin in your bathtub too. So
that is true.
Exactly.
That
You don't
is
have to
true.
bribe a physician to get
I
it.
love country music where they're just like, oh, back in these woods, cooking up booze. Like, dude, alcohol's been legal
Go to the
since
state store.
1931.
go to the
What
fucking
are
state
you-
store, dude.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one of my favorite like hickish songs is Old Crow Medicine Show. They have a song called Methamphetamine, which is like again
Right.
everybody's trying to blow up fucking moonshine culture, and these
Sure.
guys are actually talking like, no, we're in the trailer park, our people are fucking dying. It's kind of sad. Maybe stop talking about drinking your bud in your pickup. You fuck.
Yeah.
It's always a
All
bummer.
that surface.
Well, we've definitely got some
bullshit.
of the trauma for Eddie. How about
Yeah.
Brookie? How about you, buddy?
What would you say?
What's
What's some terrible shit that's happening?
Terrible shit
What's
that's
the
happening?
worst thing?
you guys
that's
went to
ever
the same
happened to you?
school together.
Yeah, we did go to this.
It's a strange town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
so
had.
We have a
Place.
lot of like stuff in common. You
Sure.
know what I mean?
Right. That's why we clicked very quickly.
We were going back and forth at Boat Mike the other week. It was me, Joe White was here, Pat was here. Pat tells a story about his childhood. I tell a story about my childhood. And Joe White goes, you guys are fucked. He's got two
That's
gold
pretty
teeth and
bad.
fucking green hair. And he goes, you guys are fucked.
By the
I
way,
know.
Joe White, I believe that's episode number 34. It's fine, and you can look up his new special coming out soon. It's fine.
Yeah, very, very
right.
good.
It was very funny, though. It was all in jest.
Yes.
He's a good man, Joe White.
Yeah, I don't know. I had all the basic,
Did you come from a good home?
single mother? No,
Oh, okay, thank
I
God.
was gonna say single mother.
Nice.
You know,
Raising YouTube
moving
boys?
around a lot, huh?
Raising YouTube boys?
Yeah, raising some YouTube boys, all that shit.
No, okay.
She would just
Psycho
put him in
dad
the
who would
living
come
room and
in
put
from
on
time to
Raging
time.
Bull and come
Yeah.
back when it was over.
Oh, that's why you can quote so well. Okay.
Absolutely.
You fuck my wife?
Fuck my wife.
Show me how you suck this cock. Well, actually, no. It's funnier. Picture them as children, like, you fuck my wife. Huh? Show me how you suck this cock.
But I had a stepdad. He was a good guy, and he was a positive influence. And then he died, so that worked out.
That's always how it
Yeah,
fucking
it always
happens.
Like, oh wait, things are starting to work out. Oh, he died. All right, never mind.
What did he die of?
It's like
Don't have to get into it if you don't want to.
Not having his
no, I'll
original
get
children.
into it.
Murder?
I'll get into it.
Okay.
No, he had what kind of cancer? It was like real shady. Like they didn't really talk about
shady?
shit.
Okay.
What?
I think he was dying of like they didn't tell you shit like that. Like
They
Catholic.
tell you he died of a broken.
Yeah, there was
he
a
died-
lot of-
He died of a broken heart
Yeah,
because
he had
you
a-
didn't clean
they,
your room.
They would say shit like that. His
Oh my
daughter,
God. 'Cause
my
they talked in
stepsister-
church.
My
We
stepsister
can't
died.
keep talking over each other. So I
He
can't.
had a daughter. My stepsister died when she was in her 20s. I was like
Okay.
10. And then he just was like never right. He
Right.
was just like
Of course.
not right after that.
He had
He
to
had
bury a
two kids,
child.
one
Right.
and all that shit. So like our family kind of like fell apart after that.
Fuck.
And then, yeah, he died, and I still like I don't know a lot about how he died. I was like 15. I'm like, all right, that's. Yeah.
Come on, if you did it, you couldn't have just been like, well, I guess extra meals for me. I guess you would. You had to. I mean, what was your mind? I mean, the devastation
It was
has
a
to be
nightmare.
crazy,
It was a disaster.
right? Yeah,
But we just kind of like
true.
moved on.
That's right. You're
Just
what are you
moved
Irish?
on.
That's
I'm
right.
Irish
Yeah,
Catholic.
there it is. Let's
right.
bury
Push
that
it down. You move forward. We don't acknowledge things.
You two boys, Catholic school?
Some, but I needed special education, so I did kindergarten twice.
Half,
One at the Catholic school, one at the public
half
elementary
and
school.
half.
Okay.
Went to Catholic school till like 3rd grade, and then
Okay. Usually we hear the flip where people don't go to Catholic school until high school because I guess that's where like the college shit actually matters. I know a few people who started
They just
public and then went
cheat.
Catholic.
The Catholic high schools, especially the ones around me, it's all guys, and they all get to cheat off of each other. They get like days off for being good in church.
that's like
like
going to
heaven.
it's
It's
like
fucking easy street. Well, they are paying for it, but like it does look better. Guys, I know
when
that
I
went
lived
to
in the
Catholic-
city, you had to go to Catholic school.
Yeah.
There was no public school.
That's dying
that
out,
you
though.
could- Yeah, it is now. I'm talking about the 90s. You fucking.
Just put on your uncle voice.
Huh? Yeah,
I'm
that's
talking
what-
about the 90s.
Yeah, that's Uncle voice.
All right, baby.
These were the Goodwill
94.
Hunting days.
And Eddie, what was your youth? What's your family you're coming from? Like, what's the situation?
Well,
Upstanding.
you know the Springsteen song "Glory Days"?
right?
Yeah.
Pretty
Nice.
much.
Pretty much it.
Well, I mean, my dad was a fisherman in Cape May. My mother is a nurse, and they met down the shore. It's a beautiful. It's very Springsteen-esque.
Sounds more like Jersey
Esque.
Girl.
But
Yeah.
like, it's the kind of thing where my mom is super supportive and loves me very much.
Right.
And my dad, I'm not too sure what he thinks
I
about
have
me.
the
You know
same
what I mean?
thing.
Daddy was fisherman.
That's actually what I wanted. We were talking before the podcast about having parents that were a little too supportive and how that can be a little bit strange.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Well, it's
Too
not really.
supportive is too much.
Yeah, like, well, it's a little weird because like my mother is and my family in overall like they love that I'm doing comedy. Like they come out to shows, and I mean, maybe it would be different if I was living with my mom and I wasn't, also working a day job, but like. The fact that they show up for all this, it's really kind of. I could never have that. Like they said, I'd never make it. Like no, they said like, when are you telling your jokes again? Tell that one about Aunt Karen.
They love
People are
if they're
way
in
more-
it. They love
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, no, I
Or
wrote
somebody
one.
they know isn't a joke. They
Well,
love
no, I specifically wrote one because my aunt, before I was doing another one of the sober shows, my aunt said like, "You're gonna tell any new jokes this time?" So I wrote one about her. Fuck off,
But-
Aunt Karen.
Was it
Don't
not
step.
like with my dad, who's not that way. Like he showed up to our St. Patrick's Day show.
Oh boy.
And he's like
at
an
the
older
boat.
Travis Bickle. Yeah, he showed up. He showed up to the boat to our St. Patrick's Day show. So I have a lot of Irish Catholic molestation material. It's like
Right.
Yeah.
kind of my bread and butter. And he comes up after the show. Actually, he's more like De Niro and Jackie Brown.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, let's see that. Yeah.
He comes up in front of all these people
Ready to
I
go.
know, and he's just like, "What the fuck was that about?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You got something you want to tell me?" I'm like,
What?
"I'm not sure." All that fucking molestation, gay shit, all that stuff. I'm like, I was like, you
Jesus
thought I was
Christ.
serious? Yeah, that's the way I'm gonna tell everybody. Is on a fucking comedy show.
God.
Yeah, and he just fucking stormed off. And I talked to him for a while. I'm like, okay, all right.
Not
I guess-
only was
I
my
guess
fruit
we're
of a
not
son
cool.
molested, but he
I-
won't talk about it to me.
how you choose to tell
This is how I choose to
Dude,
tell you.
I remember I just started getting closer with my dad's family again, who I grew apart from after he died a little bit. But I told them, like, oh, yeah, I got a show coming up next town over. You want to check it out? And my uncle, in all seriousness,
Stop dying. This is your
I'm
dad
dying.
coming
I'm
back from
dying.
the
Yeah.
and my uncle, in all seriousness, goes, like, you don't tell any jokes about the family, do you?
Oh, jeez.
Families.
The family.
Really? Like, well, I mean, my dad, plenty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may accuse you guys of some things to kind of throw the shade off
I
myself.
only trash people who aren't here to defend themselves.
Exactly, Connor. Fuck you.
I've been making up stuff about my family and saying it on stage forever.
Yeah.
Everything I
Make
say,
up
when I do
stories.
stand up, everything is a complete lie.
Yeah.
everything's 100% a lie.
There's
nothing-
like,
What are you just gonna sit around and wait for stuff to happen?
yeah, it's crazy. It's like inklings of truth. It's like new thing I'm talking about. It's like I had a dog like
Yeah,
that was
or
that was a
some-
Rottweiler named Conan. That's
something
true.
terrible happens to my friend, and I just say that it was me.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's
See,
perfect.
that's actually a little bit annoying for me, just because. Well, not
Because all your stuff is true and no one believes it when
no,
you
no,
say
no.
it.
The problem is a lot of my stuff is true, but then when I do for instance, where I do like a hypothetical like that, then it's kind of
People get confused. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, also, if you want to say something in character as like a little bit offensive or ignorant, but it's like no. It's like, all right, so I've been talking about me for a second. I'm gonna put on this mask for a second. Nobody freak the fuck out. This isn't me. I don't believe this, and I'm back. Everybody got that, right? It's yeah. It's all right.
You ever do the thing where it's like all the shit you're saying is fabricated, and then there's one thing that actually is true, and then afterwards someone goes, "Is that actually happened?" And they pick out the one thing that is true. It's like, oh my
Right.
god, everybody knows.
Right. Well, you gotta understand, when I first started comedy, it's like I was dating a girl in a wheelchair, so I'm obviously going to talk about that. So, but then I started using that, and everyone's like, "That's not real." Is it? Like, no, that's real. I wouldn't talk about it.
You
if it
didn't
wasn't
talk about
real.
how you put her there.
No. No. I didn't talk about how she had a smart mouth.
It's not my fault. She was always talking back.
No, I'm enjoying marinating in this.
Well,
Guys, can we just sit in this
and
moment?
featuring Jesse Drake. Oh, he's been canceled. I'm sorry, he's been canceled.
No. I never.
No, you'd be a terrible SNL host.
What's your love life like as boys with
Look at
each
you.
other? I assume.
Yeah, we are together.
There is a bit of a
Sure.
love affair. Me and Pat get along very
We
well.
get along very well.
There you go. I like that. I like having a buddy of kind of like a quasi.
We
thing
haven't
with
consummated
my buddy.
it yet, but
all
yeah,
right.
Waiting for the
Save
right
it-
time.
yeah,
This time.
save it for the wedding day. You know.
Well, you know what?
Make it special.
I'm old school. Why wait till the wedding day?
It's so
No,
fun having a friend that your beginning of your friendship is just based off of doing a De Niro and Nicholson impression, just back and forth, like 45 minutes, just back and forth, back and forth.
It is an easy, like, once you know somebody is obsessed with De Niro and Nicholson, I'm like, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's gonna be my best friend for.
All right.
Until today.
Okay. Then fuck the love life shit. Favorite De Niro and Nicholson each. Let's go De Niro first.
Wait, are we understanding this dynamic that one of you is doing De Niro and then the other one is doing
switches
Nicholson back, or you're
There's
both
no
doing?
rhyme or everybody's
You're both good
doing
at both of
everything.
them.
I can't
There's
do
no rhyme or
Nicholson
reason.
until he does Nicholson, and then I start
Then you-
picking it up again,
Okay.
and then I do like a De Niro face.
Okay.
Nicholson
we
voice.
haven't seen any Nicholson so far in the podcast.
Nicholson's
Podcast.
hard. I don't fuck with Nicholson.
want to
Really?
do a podcast.
Yeah, there you
There's
go.
two-
Right,
there's
the
two-
good-
there's-
to have 3 Bud Lights.
There's 2 Nicholsons because he smoked a lot, so
Right.
he's got that thing where he's got 2 voices. The younger one is more like drawn out and a little. Pacino has the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Or where like he's just like, well, Dodge is something of a cunning. That didn't. And then
It's
later
like
on,
pre and post Scent of a Woman. I think was what really
Scent of a
got
Woman
him.
is the first movie where he goes
Right.
full on. Like,
I just watched Heat the other day.
Yeah, we call it
Pacino.
overacting in the business.
Chewing the scenery.
Yeah, I fucking
When
swung
he goes
for
from
no
a
reason.
critical favorite to an audience favorite. There's a
Yeah.
difference there.
Holy shit, I did not realize.
Favorite-
Because he goes when he's younger. If you watch The Godfather, and he's just like, he always talks like this. He talks from the back. He talks from like the back of his throat. And then he retired for like 5 years in the 80s.
Right.
And then he comes back and he's just like, I'm too damn old. I'm too motherfucking blind, and I don't give a fuck. Like, what the fuck? He's been eating Newports for the last 7 years.
We'll do a
Because
Pacino
then
a lot too.
Nicholson
That's
gets
another
older
one.
and he's like, I just adopted a young boy named Nduku.
Well,
All right, that was more Ronald Reagan.
I was just gonna say,
well,
my
yeah, that's
favorite thing
way
Pat
more.
does is he does Brian Ronald Reagan. You ever heard
No,
this?
Wait, what is it?
What?
The comedian's Brian Regan.
Oh, Brian
okay.
Regan.
Brian
yeah.
Regan
and then Ronald Reagan.
Reagan.
But I don't remember the bit.
I'm an observational comedian.
I don't.
That's about it. Hello.
I don't remember that one.
Well,
Hello, Will.
I'm an observational comedian.
That's what I say when I stinks.
Mammy. He was one of these guys
Well,
called
Matt-
his wife Mammy.
Yeah, I love that. No mother. He called her mother. Well, me and,
That's
me
right,
and, me and mother sleep in separate beds.
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Mother.
no,
Gross.
that was
Mother.
insane.
Mother?
Yeah. To have a grown, like a president, a grown man
gross.
call his like his
But it's not
wife
like that
mother.
didn't exist in other parts of the country.
No,
That had to start. He
sure.
wasn't the first one to do it. And I've heard people
it's
do
like
it.
white Anglo-Saxon men just
It's
for
very
some
washed.
Transatlantic.
reason. Yeah, like are just like, I get a wife and I'm going to call her mother because that's who you are.
Well, I think what happens in those scenarios is they
She's
only
not
talk.
going to blow me because she kisses our children with that mouth. It's not like real proper.
What's up with this kiss? Never mind. I don't need to. It's like she's brushing her teeth. It's not.
Right.
She's not. It's not like, oh, hey, baby, come here. I don't have to. Okay.
I
There we go,
can't
honey.
think of.
See you later
I
for
can't
school.
hear the word mother without thinking like Norman Bates. You
Right.
you murder people. You hide them
Sure.
in your mom's basement.
I think a Danzig, but different strokes. Different strokes for different
Yeah.
folks. So, what's your love life like? I want to hear some heartbreak.
Not
stories.
good.
Yeah. Let me hear about a woman that
So-
drove you to the edge.
After you got done with the opioids. No.
During the opioids is like my longest term girlfriend.
Oh, well, of course.
Just like straight denial shit. You know?
Oh, no, wait. She wasn't using with you?
No, she wasn't using with me. No, I never had that.
Shit.
Luckily, I never.
I thought,
That's a mess.
'cause that's
She
even
was an
more.
angel.
Yeah,
They
that's like a crazy mess.
Sid and Nancy scenario.
Shit, that's rough. How long was she with your dumbass?
maybe
Sorry.
maybe like 3-4 years. It's one of those haunting ones. You know? Like I feel like I wasn't like verbally or physically abusive.
No, of
just
course,
like a
yeah.
shitty, like the worst boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't think
Nobody is with a microphone in front of them.
But
No, because I don't think. Yeah, I mean, how? I do want to ask that question. How bad were you? I mean, but I don't. You're a
I just,
nice guy already.
no
I
call,
feel-
no show kind
Right.
of stuff, and
Yeah.
just like she stayed with me because she loved me.
You pay
know?
me more as like a
And
flake who needs help. Like at that point, you're just like, I'm not showing up for things.
I was a
I'm
struggling artist at the
Right.
time.
Oh
Were
yes,
you-
of course.
Did you ever snatch from her?
No, I never got that far. She never
Okay.
had anything good.
Ah, wow, there you go.
Gotcha. That's good.
No, but like they were like her parents were very nice to me. I spent a lot of time at her house.
Okay.
Like a lot of it during like the dropping out of high school and stuff like that. She was a
Yeah.
year older than me in school, but like it's like it's another one of those people like I can't go back and apologize because it won't do any good.
Yeah.
You know,
I
but
love
I feel so bad all the time.
Her
and
parents like met you were at her house a lot too. Like her
a
parents?
lot. Yeah, her parents
dated
like
for-
got me like Christmas gifts.
Most
you know?
of the 80s they dated.
Honey, why is your boyfriend asleep on our floor?
Back when I
Honey?
was with Beverly D'Angelo.
There was some Pacino story where because Pacino will wear disguises when he goes out in public.
Okay.
Because he gets bombarded.
This is I have to pull this up. Keep talking.
Okay, well then pull up him with Beverly D'Angelo.
okay.
But he dated Beverly D'Angelo, and he took her to a Yankees game, and he dressed with a fake glasses and a hat and a beard so people wouldn't disguise him. And he's like, "But there's only one problem when you do that. I didn't realize I was with Beverly D'Angelo, so I got recognized."
So wait, so there is a picture of him going to the game like
Yes,
that? Okay.
yes, there is.
I am looking.
Beverly D'Angelo,
Al Pacino
Yankees
disguise.
Just like him in the stands, like I'm miscalculated.
It's understandable though. I mean, he must get mobbed. No,
You know,
pun
one of
intended,
my
everywhere he
favorite ones
goes.
I've seen is when Eminem was at his absolute peak. He would wear like a Rey Mysterio WWE mask to
Would
go
he
out and
really?
go shopping. Yeah.
Well, that's not helping anything because people are going to look at you anyway.
Yeah.
Right, but they don't know who. You could have bad burns. You could be a luchador out in the town. That's the whole thing with being a luchador. They never take off the mask in public.
Really?
Yes, the most
I didn't know this.
The most famous luchador of all time, El Santo, buried in his mask.
Isn't that uncomfortable?
Probably.
I mean, just like around the house. Like,
Doesn't matter. It's a fighting spirit. He unmasked once, like 2 weeks before he died, in like the middle of like a random bullshit. And this is why I love like Mexican wrestling culture, because it's literally like it looked like the McLaughlin Report, where like people are discussing politics, and it's just 4 grown men in suits and like glittery masks. And then one of them, and then El Santo, who was like, he would be like the mix of like the Hulk Hogan and the Brad Pitt of Mexico. And for whatever reason, he just decides like, I'm going to die soon. And he just like picks it up real quick, pokes, and then was just dead.
Wow.
really? Did they get a snapshot?
They got a snapshot. Yeah, we could.
Handsome or?
No.
Well,
Not at all. There's a few of those.
a handsome mask.
Because that's the thing. A lot of those Mexican wrestlers, they'll do mask versus mask matches, and like they're actually like there is a governing body in Mexico that once you are unmasked, you cannot put it back on. Oh, wow. They take this shit seriously.
Wow.
But there was a guy whose name was Dr. Wagner Jr., who lost one of these masks
I
recently.
like his father better.
Exactly. who unmasked recently, and he's like the handsomest fucking man you've ever seen. And it's like really like he had a mask on that
Why not
whole
just
time.
be that guy?
Exactly.
I know around.
Well,
I
he
know.
still wrestles,
I know in
huh?
America. I'm sure they do it there too. But they do the mask to when they have kids wrestling underage.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, throw a mask on him. No one will notice that he doesn't.
I know, dude. There's stories from back in the day that like they would, like the little independent shitty wrestlers, they would have like 12-year-olds and teach them to walk bow-legged and say they were midgets.
That's
I love how fucking carny that shit
yeah.
is.
It's really
You know what?
like,
This might be speaking of carny shit. This might be a good time to talk about Dankman and the shit you guys put out there.
yeah. Now that we're talking about carny shit,
Yeah,
what do you
it's,
wanna talk about?
carny shit is good shit as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Carney's great. And if you go deeper and you get into gypsy stuff, I love gypsy culture and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's so interesting to me.
What about it?
Just Romani. How dare you say gypsy on this podcast?
I would
you
love
know,
for this clip.
It's fine. I know. What
That's
if the
offensive to me as
Oh,
a descendant
no.
of gypsies.
Oh no! Don't do this now.
Neil, there's one stealing the screws out of your desk as we speak.
This is insane. Do we have to be those people? All right, go ahead.
No, I know a few people who identified as. No, I'm going to stop right there.
It's not a prevalent culture
Learning,
anymore.
Romani?
There isn't like a gypsy kind of. I mean,
There's
there
enough
is.
of 'em.
It kind of got blended with carny, but like I'm talking
Well-
like early 1900s, late 1800s,
Right.
Like Peaky Blinders type,
Right.
gypsydom.
Romanis, yeah.
Is that what they're?
So that's-
I haven't done a lot of research.
It's okay. So that's what the Romani are called. They were the slang.
Is
The
that the
slang. The
preferred-
slander is
okay.
gypsy. Yeah.
And they have their own language.
So yeah, Romani. It's the same issue. Just think of the same thing of the Jewish religion and the idea of like Israel, and then also where the religion goes out to, and then the people never having a home. Kind of think of that
Diaspora.
only think of that in a smaller kind of chasm in which you have it through like Eastern European kind of area where they were never really like they kind of transient. They never really had to settle. People blame them for a lot of shit, and then they get kicked out of a town. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. So sorry, you were looking into that kind of stuff, or you?
I forget how we got.
I'm
onto
still.
this.
I really cannot find this. I really want to find this picture.
Oh, I had it
So I'm gonna.
scrolled
Al
Al
Pacino.
Pacino.
There is an
Hi,
Al
Darren.
Pacino. It was
Al
an Al
Pacino is spelled with 3 X's.
yeah.
Fuck you.
It was
dude.
in.
I'm worse at math than I am at spelling. But Al Pacino and Beverly D'Angelo. I put in I put this in.
Yankees game. It should
Yankee
pop
games.
up.
Here's what I got. I swear to Christ, I'm not. It's weird. I am not fine. Here's a bunch of stuff over here, but these are like just the players. I don't
Maybe
see.
just.
I can't find it at all, and I really want to see him in a
Maybe
fucking
just
disguise.
Al Pacino, Beverly D'Angelo, or Al Pacino disguise.
Yeah.
A couple different things.
No, I got
Because
it.
it was in. I think it was on the cover of like the New York Post.
I'm wondering if it was.
Are
like,
they still married?
Scrubbed?
No, they're
or,
not.
No, there's no.
What an interesting woman she is.
She is. She's actually. She was on.
She's had a life.
Yeah, she's had like. She's one of these people who's lived several lives.
She's like been royalty.
Yeah.
She's like that Elaine Stritch song.
Yeah, I got nothing.
What's that song? I'm Still Here. You guys big?
Why are you on your
Wait,
phone?
was that the Bob Dylan?
No, not the
No.
movie. Elaine
Yeah, it's
Stritch.
just-
I always mix them up. Bob
it's a
Dylan and
Stephen
Elaine Stritch.
Sondheim song called "I'm Still Here." It's
Okay,
about an
I
actress.
can't find it either. It's not
Yeah,
him.
I think they scrubbed it.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
I
scrubbed
tried
it
Al
then.
Pacino
'Cause
disguise.
I've heard
baseball.
him talk about. He talked about it on Letterman,
Yankee games. It's just not. There's
and there was a
nothing
picture
here.
of it in like the New York Post. Maybe what's the trashier one? The Post.
Post.
Yeah, the
It was
post.
on the Post. It was.
You guys, I gotta pee. Let me know if you find Al Pacino.
Oh,
All
great.
right, I don't think we're gonna.
I don't think we're gonna find him.
The internet.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Sea of Love.
Yeah. Oh, look at that shot. There's a nice song.
You can find me in the disguise.
What?
Oh, it's
dude,
because he's wearing a disguise.
The
That's
hair.
why we don't.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
hair.
maybe that's why we don't.
He's
recognize
had. I love guys that are just
Some of
have
the-
had every hairstyle, every
Dude.
beard, mustache,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
throughout their whole
Just
life.
some of the
really
hair
everything.
choices. Oh my god, it's just so crazy.
He's an actor.
One thing you did one time that you were describing Al Pacino on Letterman, and he's just like slumped back in the chair, and he's like,
Yeah, he's just like.
and he calls him
Right.
DL.
Right.
Oh, DL. I was fucking.
Did he actually call him DL, or did I just?
I
say
think
that?
you just peppered it in.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you, DL. He's just taking his bandana off.
Yeah,
tie
he did.
it.
No, he did do that one time. He had it was either a scarf or a tie, and Letterman was talking to him, and he's just sitting there, and he's like slowly maneuvering this thing on his neck, and you're like, what the fuck is he doing? He took his tie off and he just tied it around his head like a bandana. He's like, let me tell you something, Dave.
Shit, man. You've actually played Pacino.
No. Yeah, I did play Pacino one time.
Later stages Pacino.
I played Pacino one time in a
Fourth stage, Pacino.
fake trailer.
What do you think where does the fascination come from with these? You just like
He's so interesting to
Pacino,
watch.
He's fascinating. I love that era, and I love 70s like method actors.
Yeah.
'Cause
So,
they're-
like-
they'll go so far,
right.
and it's just
And it's all about the work.
they don't
Just
care
craft,
about
like,
they don't
whittling.
do those guys until recently. They never do interviews. They never do anything. They only made movies. That's
Now it's like Brad Pitt's on every fucking press junket.
Like, do you really
He's
wanna see
playing
him on-
volleyball
yeah.
with Simone Biles on Tonight Show? Like,
Could you imagine fucking Al Pacino in 1970 in like a fucking hotel while they bring in every single publication to interview him? Like, so tell us about your new movie. Well, it's called The Godfather, and
it's a good movie. And,
it's got cold blood. It's not bad.
Francis was very good to me.
It's very good.
Did you guys get a lot of that from your family? Were your family big into like watching these movies, or
Yeah,
did you just get
my mom's family is real. My mom's
My
really into
extended
movies.
family.
Yeah.
what's your big family movie out of all of them?
Dumb
What's
and
like
Dumber.
the one? Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Still kills.
Dumb and Dumber. Probably Goodfellas, maybe.
Goodfellas.
Oh, jeez.
I had Goodfellas
Funny
with my
movie.
dad.
Funny
Well, I
movie.
just mean for a family movie.
But my
It's a
family's
little-
not like a family.
right. Yeah,
It's
you know?
just one. It's one that continues to come up. The big one for me was always
It's like me saying casino, just being like, we love the bat scene. The bat scene with the grave.
We
That-
love Las Vegas. We go every year.
This day, that scene
That's
makes me
rough one.
I think
uncomfortable.
if you asked me, my sister, my mom, my brother,
Right.
if you asked everybody what their favorite, probably everyone would say Goodfellas was their favorite movie.
Okay.
Not that we sat down every Sunday and watched Goodfellas.
No, I get you.
right, but it was one like whenever it was on, like, oh, we all need to
Yeah,
watch
we're all
this.
watching
Like the
this.
holidays comes on. I had, you know how when kids are like really little, they will watch the same movie like multiple times in
Wild
one
Wild
day.
West.
Wow, that was yours.
Now
I
now
wanted to be Will Smith so bad when I was young.
Well, I
And
can't
you
say anything
chose
because
Wild Wild
mine
West.
was Mary Poppins, and I wanted to be Dick Van Dyke.
Well, that's a
Getting
good one.
now I kinda
closer
wanna change-
every day.
I might change my answer to Stand By Me. We watched that like
Ooh, we actually have a
All the
podcast of us watching Stand By Me.
yeah.
Us 3 or 4.
We have an unlaunched podcast.
Can I?
We're still finding.
Is
our
it just
voice.
you guys watching it just in complete silence or what?
Yep.
No, well,
Nice.
here's another thing that comes up. Sometimes an actor's too good to watch on a movie podcast because we've
Right,
done
that's
some
true. It's true.
that are
if you do
great.
Stand By Me, you're never. You're. There's going to be huge gaps because you're going to be watching River Phoenix.
Yeah,
Right.
and we did Pope of Greenwich Village. We were 5 minutes in, none of us had said a word.
No one
We
thought.
fucking because Rourke is another one that
Mickey
we
Rourke.
fucking
Yeah.
love. You're just like, what the fuck? He just lets that
'Cause
piece
you
of
get-
hair
every
hang
now and then
down.
there's somebody that, especially with like Rourke, Mickey Rourke, it's like that was just the right time, the right place. He made
Right.
shit after that,
Yeah.
and it's like that him when he was like in his 30s and in movies like that in New York. You're like, this guy's
Perfect.
I was gonna say ours because it was my brother's favorite movie, but it was one we all watched, The Sandlot.
Oh, sure.
yeah, that's a
Definitely.
great one. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody remembers the ins and outs, everything.
Family movie. That movie makes sense.
Right, exactly.
That movie makes sense. Him saying like, I didn't watch Goodfellas until like probably on my own. My uncle wasn't like we would watch The Godfather together. My uncle had the set, and he would because he was from Philly, so grew up in an Italian Polish neighborhood. Like it made sense, like so. But he wasn't just like he was like, yeah. Now we'll show the Goodfellas. Put that in Christmas morning. How you guys feel good with your new
I'm sorry.
presents?
Is Lethal Weapon more appropriate?
Actually, that wouldn't be bad. It's got Hollywood charm to it. You know what I mean? Goodfellas is
Watch
woo.
Lethal Weapon a lot.
Could be.
I mean,
Oh, don't look at me. I was The Sound of Music, dude. You don't have to tell me shit. I'm not kidding.
But
Sound of
I
Music
watched-
and Sister Act. My grandmother was very.
Sister Act was
very-
great.
She was trying to get you
It's
into
not that.
Nazism
That's
early.
all. I watch every movie. I still watch like any genre, any time period. I watch all movies.
I wish we had
Okay,
you
well,
on.
it's fun to
Just-
do.
Let me ask a question then. Do you have any movie? Have you ever cried at a movie? Like, what's a movie that gets to you like emotionally that like will fuck you up? I'll give you a good example. I couldn't watch Big Fish for 10 years because that movie made me cry before my dad
You
fucking
have the
died.
dad stuff.
Exactly, but but it made me cry before my dad
Really?
died, and then it took me 10 years to be like,
I watched. I mean, I was like as a teenager and stuff. Like I'm one of these people who's like, I'd never cry at a movie. What am I?
yeah,
And then
never
when I was,
cried
like,
anyway. I came right out of my mom and I lit a
18
cigar, and that
Yeah.
was it.
But when I was like 18, I watched Stand By Me. I know I already brought it up, but I watched it all the time growing up, and then I didn't watch it for a long period. And I watched it when I was like 18, and I fucking was like a mess.
The movie
afterwards.
it
I'm
hits
like,
different when you're done riding bikes with your friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because all
yeah.
my friends from that period people were starting to get fucked up, move away.
One of them
all
got
that.
stabbed trying to break up an argument.
Yeah, exactly.
Always the peacekeeper.
What's the one for the? I
we
love
already
the
talked
one.
about Rourke, the wrestler. When I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit,
Dude,
this
you know
guy's
what's funny?
Real.
I fucking love Aronofsky, and that's probably my least favorite movie.
Is it
of his.
really?
And I liked it. It's just, it was...
It's so much different than any of his other
Well,
movies.
it very much is. And did you see Mother yet? Dude,
Yeah, I hated Mother.
I loved Mother
I
so
hated
much.
it
It
so
was so
much.
up its own asshole, and I
That's
liked
what
that about
I
it.
hated about
But
it.
Did you like Noah?
It wasn't my favorite, but I like Noah. I loved the fucking fountain. Like, I'm fine with the
never saw The
pretentiousness.
Fountain.
But the whole thing with the wrestler, I think that might have been something I was just too close to. Where like
Wrestling?
I knew, yeah,
really?
I knew all those stories. Like none of it was like, oh, he was at the top of the world and now he has nothing. Like, yeah, no, I've seen these guys. I get pictures with them and they
But
sign my
there's
autograph.
something
You
about,
go to
there's
that
something
empty,
about
yeah.
the fact that he was that guy in a different field
Right.
that
yeah.
makes it like so real. Where you're like, and he was the guy who fucked up his life and destroyed his career
Has-been.
and all that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a has been. He was the character. It was really,
I love like Aronofsky. Like he would for years just get in fights with directors, like just off the bat. You know, like guy says nothing like major. The guy says something, he just doesn't respect him. Rourke. And then Aronofsky would just fuck with him and be like, Rourke's dog is in the hospital, right? And like he's one of these guys that has like millions of dogs. He loves fucking dogs. His favorite dog is in the hospital. And he's just like, hey, Mick, we got a call from the vet, but I'm not going to tell you what happened until we nail this scene. Just fucking with him. Just bringing it out of him.
and he's one of these guys, like you were saying, he's always skeptical of every director. Like, nobody's going to tell me what to do. This fucking film school douchebag. Yeah. And he's met Aronofsky, and Aronofsky's just like, you're fucking worthless. He's pointing in his face and goes, we can't raise any money on your name. Your reputation sucks. Blah, blah, all this shit. And then he goes, oh, and I can't pay you a dime to make this fucking movie. And Rourke goes, this guy's all right. I like this guy.
Still
He's all right,
boxes.
I'll do it.
Still boxes. He's like 60 years old. He goes to an all-black gym in like Santa Monica.
Oh wow.
Or one of those. I think he's an LA guy. Yeah, he fucking tough as nails.
Nice.
Something about that masculinity really gets to me.
So wait, that's something that makes you cry, or what's
Well, the wrestler, something that makes me cry. There's an episode of The West Wing when makes me cry. Martin Sheen.
Shit.
Martin Sheen's a great actor.
It's a movie.
It's an episode of The West Wing that makes
That's
me
a
cry.
series that I completely
Yeah,
missed.
I've never
It's a
seen
great
one
series.
episode of The West
I
Wing.
fucking love Sorkin.
I've heard it's great. It's definitely something I just completely didn't.
Let's see, what else would make me cry?
I was young when that show was on.
Oh, Silver Linings Playbook. Bobby De Niro playing the dad.
Oh,
Yeah, because that's about a Delco family, so it kind of
Right.
hit way too
Right.
close to home.
I just had one weird thing because De Niro looked like my grandfather. Like, just was that person. He
Right.
That was exactly who he was.
Right.
So when he was like always just like, Patty, what are you doing? He's like, well, we're not gonna. You're not gonna watch the game with me, Patty. And he's like following him out of the house. Patty, Patty. I was watching that. I'm like, this is too weird. I'm like, this is fucking weird.
Oh god, because like Bradley Cooper's in bed and he's just like he's very goal driven. Like
And all the
you
mental
gotta watch
illness
the Eagles
shit,
game
all
with
the
me. Yeah.
mental illness stuff of the like. No, the remote's got to be there. If the remotes aren't there,
You're gonna
we
jinx
don't-
them.
Yeah, that type of
You
shit.
could-
That's how they lost the
You
conference.
could
game.
hate where you come from, but something like that will be like get you just instinctually.
It's
Yeah,
too-
fucking
Oh,
hit
yeah.
you hard. He's just like, I just want to watch the Eagles game with you. Like, oh my god.
I'd give anything to watch the Eagles game.
That
like
type of
again.
thing of watching a guy that's very masculine who can't show any emotions, and then you go,
Finally
"Oh,
shows
that's
emotion."
why you wanted to just go. Why don't you just fucking say that?" Like,
I still think that is the way to get through to old men like that, where it's like, wait, you didn't tell us your feelings. What kind of fucking pussy is afraid
yeah,
to
just
tell
fucking
your
man up.
feelings?
Tell me.
Yeah, I don't want.
just
I don't
don't do
want
it.
to let the bad people in. Fuck you.
It's been a hypocritical. I never understood. I'm a pretty emotional dude. Not like. Well, also I come off as a cold asshole. Actually, most of the time it's very strange. I'm very in touch with my emotions, but that always threw me off because growing up around women. You know, it would be like, yeah, I mean, tell you how, you know, tell me how you feel. I'd be like, fine, okay, I'll tell you I'm pretty in touch with that. I could do it. But when I started, guys would actually not even like just talk about game or sports or something like that. I was like, dude, yeah, but how are you feeling? I mean, your dad's in the hospital. And he's like, I don't know, I want to talk about it.
Right.
I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's up? You don't want to, I don't know. I never understood that. I was like, what are you being like a bitch? Like, you
Yeah.
got to be like a little softy little bitch.
Right.
I tried to
I never get it.
write like a sketch. It didn't work because I not good at writing. But I wrote this sketch where it was like guys watching a football game or a basketball game, and it was like what they would say to each other, and they would have the Annie Hall like subtitles of what that meant. Because like that's what it is when you see guys watching a game, and they're like, "Yeah, it's pretty good," like like talking about the chips or the game.
Right,
it's just like, I'm clinging to our friendship. Like that's how they really feel.
I'm scared I'm gonna lose you.
Yeah, if I lose you, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I mean that's it's weird because it's a generation where my father, at least in my example, my mother told me it was okay to talk about my feelings. My father doesn't think that's okay. Won't ever fucking change. Like, so I'm a little of both. So like, I'm a very nice person, but like, I'll fucking scream and yell if my point is not getting across. And like, I'm a weird mix of like sugar and spice.
I think I got both because I got women who were hardened. Like, so that they would be like, they could communicate ideas, but if you if you wanted to get across some things, or if there was trouble that they didn't want kids, especially children, was always very protective of the children. So that means like if there was problems, you would never have an inkling, smiling face on you at all times. And it was like the duality there because it wasn't like anyone's around me like, you shouldn't talk about feelings like that. It was more of just like, what's wrong with you? And then you'd hear like, they'd be like, nothing, I'm fine, go to your room, Then 2 minutes later you just hear them crying in the back, and you're like, why is mom crying? She's like, because she's a tough broad and she's fucking going through this right now.
She's emptying it out.
Yeah.
It's built up. Both my parents, 6 or like both sides, 6 siblings each or something like that.
That's how my
and there's like these tiny beefs between the siblings that nobody talks about. They just come to Thanksgiving. Uncle whatever won't be at Thanksgiving because this uncle or aunt will be there, and it's just like we're gonna do Thanksgiving anyway, but we're not gonna talk about it.
That
happens.
Hold on, wait.
There's 25 people at a table.
Right.
And like these 2 sisters aren't talking. Because my mom's family's like that, where it's all their dad left them, so they all hate men. And there's like a bunch of sisters.
Sure.
It's like classic old Irish spinster type of shit.
Right.
So they all don't trust men. But you'll be sitting at a table, there's people everywhere, and these 2 people aren't talking, and everybody else is talking about how they're not talking, and how you don't bring it up to anybody else.
Don't bring it up.
Right. It's like, that's all we're fucking talking about, and these 2 are sitting silently.
And it's like, well, how long haven't they been talking? It's like, I don't know, 1984 or something like that. Okay, what happened? We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. Right, exactly.
All right, so we got a bit off topic there, but I brought it up because we have a segment we do every week about sad fucking music, and that is the depressive, suicidal, black metal song of the week.
As much as I want to listen to metal, I'm going to take a piss real quick. I'll be right back.
No, it's okay. You are missing gold, though, sir.
This one's pretty unique. I just plucked this out of nowhere, as I usually do, but as I looked into it, the band is Be Persecuted. The song is All End Soon. This is a Chinese depressive, suicidal black metal band.
Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay, hold on. I might
So wait, what was the timestamp again? 1:14, 1:27?
127 is what I have. Go over 120.
Okay.
So
there we go. All right, we are set, and I'll go up in this, so you should hear it in your headphones.
one of the band members is named Autism.
God. I agree with you. Antonio Brown, the guy who's gotten in a bunch of trouble, right? And stuff like one of his daughters is named Autonomy. He's accused of sex charges, sexual assault charges. I was like, that is the best. Never mind. Sorry. Keep going. I said it on the last one. I could not believe it. We were looking at his thing. I was like, it was just Wikipedia. I was like, one of his daughter's names is Autonomy. Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry.
All right, never mind.
No, listen to Suicide Black Metal. Oh!
Lyrics: night stabbed like a dagger. It's hatred leading me through. It's fated to break down in this night. Destiny doom, life light has crushed out. Its blade to cut off the wrist tomorrow. End me up without tomorrow anymore.
End me up.
Take me away. They're Chinese. Take me away to bury all these dirties.
Now, are those the lyrics, or that's your diary?
Those
on
are
what you.
Oh no,
I thought that was your personal thoughts on the song.
I sent in some letters, and they made a song out of it. I thought it was very nice of Autism and the boys to put together.
Now, is that his name, or just everybody calls him that because he has it?
I mean, they don't take too kindly to them in China. So
very true.
Unless he's recording his tracks from the bottom of a river, I don't think that's the case.
Very, very true.
I just walked in on. I don't. Now that we're in the Chinese section, I don't want to.
Okay,
I had an impression I was going to.
Don't.
I'm not. No.
Well, you can, but you got to go get your teeth out of the car.
My funny teeth.
Jesus
You got to get your
Christ.
railroad hat.
This is just. I just don't know why. Why are we? Well, why?
We
Okay.
can't help it. It's
I
in the
know.
air. It's
No,
on the
I know.
breeze.
When something feels taboo, you want to go there anyway. I feel you. I
it's
understand. Yeah, of
All right.
course.
So let's
I
talk a
asked
little
you
bit.
my saddest thing that ever happened in my whole life 5 minutes ago.
I know. Which we jumped up, which is really what we try to go for.
Oh, let's segue into the saddest movies you've ever cried to.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we're just slowly getting our way out of the darkness here.
Yeah,
That's all right. We're going to talk about death next. We're going to wrap it up on death.
yeah.
You have any big
Wonderful.
deaths? What's your first big one? Top
First-
3
Top 3 deaths. Okay.
ever.
Top 3. All right, it's not a Billboard.
I think
countdown.
I think they're all opioid deaths.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, there was James Gandolfini.
That was big.
That was big.
All right, guys.
Now, yeah.
To the point where I was looking up how
This
much
has been
bus
Magical Misery
tickets
Tour.
were.
We'll see you
I
guys.
do remember. I sometimes I think about John
you
Candy,
kidding?
and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Really?
Yeah, I get really sad
God.
about John.
Yeah.
No, I don't really care. Like celebrities die, I don't know them or whatever. But for
Sure.
some reason, John Candy makes me very.
Man,
I'm
that's
very
nice.
sad. That
Same
he's
way
not
with
here.
Gandolfini, yeah.
Yeah.
Gandolfini too. That's very sad.
And it's like to the point where I was looking up the price
not
of
in my
bus
top
tickets.
3. It's not worse than my stepfather or grandfather,
Right.
but it was pretty bad.
I just thought like when I was young when it happened. Well, I was not. I was on a lot of drugs. I was like maybe 17, and I was looking up
You got to forgive me. I was only 23.
how
when he
much
died,
it would
so.
cost to go to New York and go to the church service for his funeral. Like I was just going to be like one of a couple people there, like just to pay my respects.
Very sorry for your loss.
Yeah. But there's like police
Who the
barricades.
fuck are you?
There's like fucking 1,000 people there. Yeah, I wasn't the only one.
Sure.
No,
No, I mean,
I can
yeah.
imagine.
How you resonated with him? I guess very, very
His
strong.
eyes,
His eyes.
eyes.
They said he had the eyes of like a puppy.
Yeah,
That's what David Chase said about him.
it was a fucking.
He had very sad eye, even though he was very.
You pay
Boisterous.
attention to him when he's
so
on.
he had very
screen.
like sad eyes.
And he he had just done that relationship movie, right?
Enough
And
said.
he-
I watched it the other
Enough
night.
said, right? I did have a bunch of questions that were like, and the other thing, one of them was like, what was your last rewatch? Like, what was your last, one that you kind of do, that you rewatched. So I guess you just watched it again.
I just watched Enough Said. I forget who the writer director is. A woman made that movie. First time I saw it,
Is it Jill Soloway? No, that's not who made that.
it's great. It's such a departure from like a Tony Soprano, which I kind of prefer. After seeing The Sopranos so many times, I kind of prefer seeing Gandolfini not in that power position.
Yeah, like I just watched Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
I just watched that too because
The
you
Mayor.
saw it and
Yeah,
you said it was not a bad movie.
the Mayor,
Like,
and it
The
was
remake?
like the remake.
Okay,
with
that's what
John
I remember
Travolta.
seeing that. It wasn't
got a
that bad.
stacked
So,
cast.
It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
But Gandolfini's the mayor, and you're like, wow, this guy's not even. He couldn't be further from a Tony Soprano.
I still think one of my favorite roles of him was in True Romance. He was
Yeah, he's great in
fucking
that.
great. in
Fucking
that.
scary.
That's like a
Yeah.
precursor to the Sopranos.
Scary dude.
Yeah, the dating movie. That's what I was saying. It was you see him like kind of act, very good. It felt very good. At least in the clips I saw, I was like, oh man, it's kind of very genuine. He's trying to be like this older guy who's like opening up after I think a divorce or a death.
Both divorced. Yeah, and it's
And
like
it's-
for
and
some
he
reason it resonates
seems
with me.
Perfect. Yeah,
You know, like-
I love that. That's you're just like he fucking gets it, dude. You're 23. What are you fucking doing, dude?
25.
I have no idea how old you are.
The ultimate death question then for this podcast: does Tony die in the finale?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely,
No,
I
he
agree
doesn't.
with you.
Absolutely.
Defend your horrible thoughts.
It's not a horrible thought. It's just you don't see any fucking good evidence. It's like I see more evidence of shit in the Zapruder film than I see at the end of, oh, this guy is wearing a jacket with no name on it, and so it
I
actually.
heard a funny theory on the Zapruder footage.
Okay. Oh, please.
About how one of the Secret Service guys in the car behind them accidentally was like not paying attention and like sneezed or something, and his gun went off. That was the bullet that hit MK the other way.
I shot the president in the face, man.
Oh my god! I shot John in the face.
I don't know nobody in Dallas,
John
man.
Travolta? What is it?
No, let him go.
This is the first Travolta.
Let him go. This is
I
why
don't
he's
even
so
know.
dedicated to
Shut him.
Scientology.
Because I shot Marvin in the face.
Shot him in the face. Sorry, I'm doing
John
Christopher
Walken?
Walken.
That's
Yeah, I'm doing Christopher Walken. Clearly,
I shot the
Gold
president in the
watch.
face, man.
man, you never. Sorry. Yeah. What the fuck?
Tony lives at the end
Tony lives
because
at the end, right.
that's what is presented on the screen.
I don't believe so.
I've heard the ending described as like a Who song, like a Who concert when they smash the guitar.
Yeah.
It is the equivalent of smashing the guitar. It's over. Make of this what you will.
It's
any way you want
it.
It's any way you
All right,
want
well,
it.
I don't want
Because
to go too deep because it's
Don't Stop
gonna turn
Believing,
into
under that was Any Way You Want It. I heard a rumor that the song they wanted to use is Any Way You Want It by Journey. And it would be too much of a nod, though. Don't Stop Believing,
my
better
whole
song
thing-
to
That's
use.
laying it on a little thick.
It's laying on a little. This is from what's his face said it to a guy. I took a class at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute about The Sopranos, existentialism as related to The Sopranos.
Okay, you wasted your money. Continue.
Yes, me and like 15 older Jewish ladies that never watched The Sopranos, but
Well,
they
now I'm
have
in.
to do something because they're just tired of spending their husband's money in Bryn Mawr.
Tony
So
Bacala says it. It just goes to black.
Here's
You
the-
don't know you're being killed.
And the real argument is every time, just the composition of the shots. We keep saying every time the bell rings,
See
we
what-
see Tony
what he
Soprano,
sees.
and then we see his perspective and what's
That's
walking
not
in.
how the
And then
show was.
We hear the bell end. It's a filmmaking.
we were more of a peeping Tom on
They're
that
just
show than
pulling-
part of the show. We never saw things through Tony's eyes. We saw what Tony saw through our own eyes.
Yeah.
But it's
You know what I'm
very,
saying?
it's like,
I mean, it
it's
seems-
like a gut
I tripped
I
on
took wrong.
shrooms one time, and I kept calming myself down by saying, "No, Tony's alive." Tony's alive. Like,
Because I thought
I
both.
could go there right
I
now.
thought he lived for a few years after that, and then I watched it second, third, 7, 8 times, and I was like, "All right, I think he's dead now."
what
I think it's just
turned
like a
it?
gut feeling. I don't know. I just watched.
I never had that gut
like,
feeling.
through rewatches.
But
you
here's the
realize,
thing.
Like, oh,
Just
that's
like he's
like
for sure dead.
One time you just watch it, like he died that time.
Yes, he died that time.
That time, just this time.
Here's the thing, though. Even
like
if he
Groundhog
lived, it would be not a good show anymore because it would be just him in court. You know,
Well, right.
those
Either way, what they're
proceedings,
saying
like
is either way,
it
from
doesn't
that
end
day
well.
on, his life is not. It's not going to end well.
So,
Right.
Yeah, this is Business Insider actually hitting on exactly that point. Like overall, whether or not Tony died is not the important part of the
not
show.
important, no.
It's just something people can't let go of.
Right.
But with the family at work, if they were told exactly what happened to Tony, Carmelo, Meadow, and AJ,
It's like my least
Paulie
favorite
Walnuts,
thing
and
about that show. Like I don't really care
Well,
if he died or
Americans
not.
just can't get a hold of kind of depth when it comes to endings. They really just don't
Right.
like it. They just don't enjoy it.
there's no good way to end a TV show, and I think
Yeah.
that was the best way I've ever seen it done.
Yeah, I think
Just
they-
cut to black. You don't get it.
Newhart was
Right.
good.
Frasier.
That was pretty good. Well,
How
while we're
did
talking,
Frasier end?
while we're talking
How did
about death, there was an article I found here. That would be the second tab, Neil. So yeah, man suffers
is-
heart attack,
is
dies
rough.
at work. Co-workers gather
Oh
for
my
group
God.
selfie, thinking he'd fallen asleep.
We don't know if it's real,
God.
but I hope it is.
If it's real, how
Not
do you
hope.
go on about your day?
You probably don't do fun selfies as
Well,
often.
here's the thing, though. If that man died, now they say this, the majority of the time you evacuate your bowels.
Right.
How?
It still takes a minute. It's not like a,
oh,
you
okay.
know.
So you're thinking, yeah, when the picture was taken, it might have just
Actually,
happened.
you know what's funny? I had that thought recently because I was in the room when my stepdad died, and we're
Right,
like,
right.
"Oh, are we going to start smelling poop?" But then I remembered he had a colostomy bag. His
Yeah.
butthole was sewn shut.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
He
dude.
does look dead.
Best
right.
of both
But that
worlds.
could be like people bored in an office
I
making
forgot
this
he got
up.
rid of his butthole.
You think he
Yeah.
looks dead? He just does look asleep in this
well,
picture.
guys,
It's-
His
I'll be
color
honest,
is
I
off.
looked.
He's much
Yeah.
whiter than
Right.
everybody else in that picture.
I looked it up and it is fake, but I was
I
was
thought
so
so,
I was so
because
excited by it when I first saw
he
it.
does not look much whiter. You can do the comparison to all these. These are just low light. Even the
If he
highlights
works in
over here.
tech, that's just what they look like.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a
Not
like
a-
fluorescent lighting on the left side of the picture.
Yeah. No, this is clearly a light overhead.
I'm also
over top.
staring into a
You're also-
fluorescent light right
yeah,
here.
that's so.
This is LED. How dare you?
LED? What is? It's a halogen, right?
Yes,
This is
it's
a halogen
It's a
light?
halogen.
This
It's
is
a
a-
halogen,
I
dude.
got halogens all over my
Halogen.
property.
No, it's a Nowgen. I just got it. Anyway.
Hey.
I got so many halogens I can't even sit down. But besides that,
We are dying.
And this was just another thing I found funny. Man has heart attack at top of a water slide. I'm so sad there's not video of that.
This poor dude. You
Yeah.
brought this up. This poor guy.
Wait, so he had to ride down the water slide?
First of all,
having
how
a-
are they not brother and sister? Their
are they-
teeth are the
Yeah, their
exact
teeth are
same.
way too fuck up.
That looks like somebody's uncle with their niece.
Yeah, that's
Not
crazy.
quite father-daughter.
Oh man, you don't want to die? No, thank you.
That looks like a sweet...
That's quite a yeah. I want to go.
Is that Machu Picchu? Jesus.
I think so. Oh man, that's tough, dude. He died coming down a water slide.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he was
had a-
coming down a water slide, and he had a heart attack because he was so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good
That's
Lord.
actually,
Stuck
go
in
to that
bed.
picture.
What? This one?
That's his jizz coming down the mountain. That's all jizz.
Down the mountain with jizz.
This is terrifying. That's a bummer. I want to die that way though.
That's
On a
a fun
motorcycle?
one.
Yeah, just like a
How
die.
do you
like,
want to die, like, ideally?
Ideally, I'm not kidding. Like one of those,
waterside
like,
or something like-
because I want to die around a lot of people, and I feel,
get that.
Yeah,
I get
Surrounded
that.
by friends.
yeah, because more likely I'm going to die
All
like
the
alone
cops that
in
are
an
going to be
apartment.
shooting. Yeah.
Yeah. All the cops going to shoot me? What? Die by cop suicide? What? Is that what you're thinking?
Sure.
That's not a bad idea.
Nah, I'm going to die of a heart attack. for
Yes,
sure.
you will.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a prediction, but
I
I mean,
can't-
just, you know.
I was very paranoid about heart attacks.
Your family,
and then I only
based
found
off-
out. I only found out recently. Nobody in my family has ever had a heart attack.
I don't think anybody in my family has either, but I just feel it. It's like a time bomb sitting in there.
I don't think it's going to... I think for me, it's just going to be, you know, something fucking not health related. It's not going to be
Really?
a natural death. It's going to be something...
Like you'll be riding your scooter, minding your own business,
Dude,
Right.
the only thing that saved my fucking skull today was the backpack I was wearing.
Dude, what if you got Final Destination and like this whole place is going to go up in flames any second now?
Oh my God.
If you want to end this podcast on spontaneous human combustion, I'm just saying it would be really good for the likes.
I do like... I'm a people pleaser at heart.
Okay.
I fucking... That shit, you forget about it as you're talking, but my scooter's still there.
Yeah.
I kind of just walked away from it. I had to get here.
Eddie, your body is still there. This has all been a hallucination.
We're surprised that we're able to pick that kind of stuff up on electronic.
These are good Behringers.
This is
are
the
good
Jacob's Ladder podcast.
What, I mean, are you still a practicing Catholic, Patty?
No, not really.
He doesn't have to practice anymore. He's a perfect
Yeah, I'm
Catholic.
perfect. I don't practice.
Actually, I went
It's like
pro.
riding a bike. Sorry.
Okay. So not really. So, I mean, do you believe in like the afterlife? Though?
No, I don't believe. I don't actually believe that type of stuff. But I'm socially, yes, I'm very. All of the
So
mannerisms
okay.
and behavior and
Of a
'cause
good Catholic boy?
of a Catholic, because it goes a lot further than just what they say in there.
Sure.
There's a certain way that Catholic people are.
I
in their home.
until I started dating a Jewish girl and she pointed it out every time I did it.
What?
Yeah, I hadn't
Exactly.
really.
What are these things? I grew up Catholic. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. Just other than the saying like maybe, oh my God, or, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's also
like a
combined
shame
with
kind of thing?
Well, the shame, the shame,
Oh,
out of
the guilt.
control,
Sure.
the guilt.
Okay.
It's also mixed with like children of alcoholic type of
Okay.
behavior. Which
Gotcha.
I blend the two. So maybe just do
Gotcha.
my own.
You know, they literally have meetings for that. I went to one
Yes.
a few months ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I was in a dark
I didn't know I
place.
had it till recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in a dark place, but it's funny. I literally just get very, very depressed when I'm single and not having sex. As soon as I started dating a girl, like I'm
I have
fine.
that
Yeah, you're
same
good.
thing, but as soon as I start dating a girl, I'm like, I don't like this. You know, maybe it's because I haven't found the right girl.
Oh, you don't
but it's
like
also,
actually being
But
in
it's
it.
like, okay, I got the thing. What's the next thing?
Right.
Yeah, it's a drug addict behavior that's kind of mixed in.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I was feeling pretty low, and I stumbled on the concept of children
Is
of
it
alcoholics.
Different than Al-Anon?
It's very different than Al-Anon because Al-Anon is supposed to be able to make you understand what that person's going through, where it's literally like all of my preconceptions and wiring is fucked up because I grew up having to be a little bit more of an adult.
Right,
like
right.
I'm responsible for the way other people
You're
like.
always thinking about other people. You're people
Exactly.
pleaser, taking care of people. making
It's up to
sure everybody's
me.
all right.
It's up to me to make sure Dad doesn't get too
Right.
don't piss off like.
Because if I step on the wrong path
Yes,
here,
yes.
everything's gonna go crazy.
Superstitions
Everything's
follow
gonna
you
go
around,
wild.
yeah.
Exactly. Well, not even specifically that, but just it's you're being raised by somebody who is not in rational control
Right,
of
right,
themselves.
yeah.
Right, and they talk about those children having to deal with almost like a narcissism of an addict because they can't be wrong, right? Like they're your parents,
Exactly.
so they can't be wrong. So you have to kind of explain away or deal with it. Yeah, so you start to become a kid who's just like, we make sure the water's here because he's going to wake up with a headache, and we do this over here because that's the right thing, and it makes us not get beat.
And don't wake him up in the middle of the night because then he's
don't
going
wake
to
him up.
be he's
Don't
going to
wake him
he's going to be in a bad mood and it's going to be all your fault because the adult drank a bunch and was in a shitty feeling all day.
Never. I mean, I luckily have not. I had just wine drinkers. All the men were already dead by the time I came around. Unfortunately, yeah, all the men were dead, so it didn't really work.
You came into your family like somebody visiting Europe in 1950. Like, where'd all the guys go?
Yeah, the Godfather when
I
Michael
grew
goes
up
to Italy.
around a lot of sober, like sober people too, and there's a lot of
really?
dry alcoholics.
Dry drunks.
Yep.
They're just dry out, and it's like
What?
so you're not. There's nothing.
What's
different.
that again?
a
I've heard
dry
of it.
drunk.
A dry alcoholic is someone who quits drinking,
Right.
but doesn't deal with the issues that cause them to drink.
So like when you go
So they're
sober for
not-
a stretch.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
what? No.
Because if you stop
Seriously?
drinking, you still have to work on yourself. It's
Or-
not like,
yeah.
well, I did the one thing that I had to do.
You're
No,
not
you need to
addressing
keep-
any of the things that drove
not
you to it in
addressing.
the first
So you're
place.
just white knuckling every day.
Yeah. That's the rough part. If I couldn't do stuff like this or anything like that, I'd probably be a dry drunk.
Gotcha.
This is fucking misery back there that I'm just slowly unpacking and putting away.
Yeah, you need fulfillment in your life. You need to
Yeah.
work on yourself. And
Yeah, I've done everything. Fucking yoga, fucking transcendental meditation, isolation
Bought a
tanks,
scooter.
fucking bought a scooter, flipped it, fucking. And I was looking up fucking Triumph motorcycles the day before. I was like, I think I'm ready to graduate to a motorcycle. Fucking. I must have Scorpion. You know Scorpions when people hit and then their
when
legs
they
go
hit on
behind
the
their head.
upper- yep.
But then I fucking rolled and it was fucking crazy. But I don't have one of these coming to Jesus moments. It was just kind of like
You didn't see any kind
this
of
scars from an old scooter accident. You know, I'm collecting those now. Here's a
No,
question.
you retell that one to the grandkids. That's like, this is where I fell off my hog.
This is why you
Going
It
can't
goes,
nuts.
every couple years, it goes up. Like it'll be like a dirt bike in 3 years.
This is where I went over
yeah.
7 buses in the Snake River
This
Canyon.
is from the opioid wars.
That's right.
Here's the thing. What do you think, like, in terms of, let's just say you're having a kid, right? Catholic school, no Catholic school? Would you want to put him in, like, a school co-op, a Montessori, if you will? I want to do some new experimental shit with my kid.
Really fast. I had the weirdest dream. I dreamed someone who I'm talking to right now was pregnant. And I had a full life dream yesterday. It's funny that you brought that up. I woke up in a weird state this morning, just
Okay.
being like,
When you wake
"Oh, she's pregnant. Okay, let's. I got to get up and be a father." Like,
Next thing, yeah.
yeah, dude. I was.
If you're putting stuff into your body that's gonna fuck with your brain a little bit,
Sure.
you wake up and you don't know if something was a dream.
I love it.
Oh my god!
Some of my funnest
And you're just
moments.
like the first couple hours of a day, you're just walking around like everything
Sure.
could be different depending on which way
Yeah.
that dream.
Like, stick your head downstairs. Hey, guys.
But I'm sorry. So if you were having a child, and I stepped right in there. So if you're having a child, would you raise them Catholic?
What? No, well, not
Or
even raise them
something?
Catholic. Would you do, like, would you instill church in them, but not go to
Yeah.
church? Because that's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah,
It's
especially
like,
Patty, with you, you're kind of like, I'm not practicing, but do I want to put that on them? Like what? you know?
I did the CCD route. So
I did CCD
sorry
too.
to
My
do
mother
that.
was a CCD teacher.
It would be trickier for
Those
me 'cause I'm
goddamn
dating-
liars.
Catholic
Sorry,
school
what?
handled that.
It'd be tricky for me because I'm dating a Jewish woman, but
so
but then again,
cool.
she already said if we have kids, she might concede on the circumcision, which is all I really want. I want my boys to be flappy.
My goal is just not to raise like an angry atheist,
Right.
because I went through that whole thing. And then I'd be like, "There's no reason to do that to a kid."
Right.
Yeah.
So I would
don't
just
know,
raise
like,
them as
I
you know,
don't think
like,
my mom, because I grew up with my mom and she didn't put any of that on me, but I went to Catholic school,
Right,
And
so
I
did
put
I.
a lot of it on myself.
yeah.
That
Well,
type of
it's
shit,
in
you know?
it's in there. It's baked in.
Just
So the
in- not to
idea is
mention
just
it,
happen.
It's just there. It's
Yeah.
just there already. So
yeah, in a lot
I
of
wouldn't
ways.
push it on anybody.
I just all I need is a rogue Catholic priest that's willing to like do the sacraments on my kids and
Right.
not have to make them go to school for any of it.
I just want my kid to have a godfather, but I don't want to fill out paperwork about it. I just want to have.
Right.
He has a godfather.
it's a pain in the
Did
ass.
you? Yeah, it's a whole
I had to
thing.
do it, yeah.
Really?
I just
Pain
want
in the ass,
to,
yeah.
you know.
I've been a godfather
That's as Catholic as I wanna get.
twice, and there's been no paperwork involved.
Well,
You're posthumously. I don't think it was real. Maybe was it? It probably wasn't because you'd have to do because there's two different types.
No,
You have
one
the
of them was-
Catholic
one of them
godfathers
was
aren't.
in
You're going
the
to do it in
church.
the eyes of God. There's paperwork
yeah.
and donation.
Is that,
did fill
is that
something
legally
out.
binding?
got to slip him an envelope. No, it's not. It
Of
means
course not.
nothing.
Right? It
No.
means nothing. Also, I've
I
always
don't know about
foster
you guys,
care.
but I prefer to separate church and state. That's just me. It's my
I
own
have
personal
always known.
belief.
You and the founding fathers.
There's something about all the godfathers I've ever met from my town, I should say. Every time it was a pretty Catholic couple, like this is the same as me, Catholic couple, and the godfather was always someone who didn't go to church.
Yeah.
Every time it was the uncle who didn't go, who was like,
I
"Wow,
picked
we
my
got to
uncle-
make him." You
That's
know.
how, when I needed my sponsor for what do you get a sponsor for?
Confirmation.
Yeah.
Confirmation, and immediately
Or
it was like,
addiction.
Uncle Jim. Yeah, I'm like Uncle Jim, who was like an ex he's a biker, ex-meth guy. And my mom's like, keep scrolling down the list of uncles there. I'm like,
I had a cousin. He married into the family. I asked him to be a confirmation sponsor just because he was cool, but he was like, "I'm not in good standing with the church."
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's not everybody's a part of this thing that I'm being indoctrinated." A confirmation sponsor. No.
weird
Yeah.
that I...
Jesus Christ! I had to sit through a church funeral the other week, and church fucking sucks.
Dude, I haven't seen a church funeral in a while.
Really?
Church is the worst.
Yeah, no, it's usually just been like a bring a priest to the funeral home.
I thought I
That's
was
it.
at it, and then they brought me back in.
They're going in that direction where it's like, yeah, just bring the priest
That's
here and
good.
we'll.
It's just it eats up so much of your fucking day.
It's not really that bad, actually. I've been feeling actually that it's quicker. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I went to church a good amount when I was younger. I feel as an adult, I'm like, yeah, this moving in a clip. We're pretty good. We're not too bad.
I don't
I've
mind
been
church.
fucking homilies where they just fuck. Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. I'm laughing at you. I'm getting fucking prodded because my mom's like, stop laughing at the priest, and I'm just done. I don't want to be here anymore. It's just bullshit. I do a lot of eye rolling. I've been getting in trouble by my own family because if we're in one of those ceremonies and he starts in, I'm like, oh, jeez.
Here we go.
Only through Jesus can we. I'm like, yeah.
fucking hack.
There's some great quotes in the Bible. There's some cool shit in there, but they
Yeah,
never talk about
sure.
the cool shit.
Man, they don't talk about smashing the
I
infant's
looked
brains
and I
against the
beheld,
rocks.
I beheld a pale horse in it, and
we go-
fucking the name on
We're going
was
to that?
death, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hell followed.
Is it a
It's
good
fucking
read?
beautiful.
Is it worth?
I mean, I've seen pale horses.
Reading?
They're nothing to write home about.
Is it a good read?
Is it?
It's
I've
not
never
my
read it.
favorite
Never
book.
read it.
Yeah.
A lot of it is
As
really
a-
just like so and so begat.
Right.
No. Yeah. I mean,
It's
you're-
very moral
But
driven.
I've never read it. Should I read it?
Yeah.
Because
I don't think you
always,
should try.
I'm always like.
So what you're gonna find is if you come at it with the mindset, this is what I've learned, is if you come at it with a mindset that these are God's words, you're gonna start doing a bunch of perception that really isn't there. If you come at it from the idea of just like these are just writings and I'm objectively gonna read this, you're gonna come to find that it's just it sounds like early man trying
Yeah.
to figure
If you-
shit
if
out.
you- get into
Because
it-
I'm a very like. I don't know. I'm always
Spiritual?
like conflicted.
You're spiritual, baby?
Yeah, I'm spiritually.
You're spiritual.
Conflicted.
I don't know. I'm gonna die.
You have to read the
I'm
stuff
always
like
grappling like this. Like, what is my? Like,
you need to
I don't
read
want
it
to,
like
but I just.
You do.
happens.
you need to read it like it's an old folk tale, like the Son of God and his big blue ox, and then that works out much better.
I wouldn't read it like this is God talking
Right.
to me specifically.
Do you think anything happens after we die, or is this just it? Lights out.
On my darkest days, that's it.
Yeah.
But I want to be cremated.
I don't want to be cremated.
You don't want to be
You guys
cremated?
don't wanna be cremated.
I don't.
They
I want,
fucked
I
up,
want, I want
mate.
an obnoxious.
So
funeral.
Eddie, you got through fucking rehab and stuff without, and you didn't become religious in some way. Were
Oh,
you
no, I'm
already
still-
religious before?
I was raised Catholic.
Right, exactly.
My mother was a CCD
but how?
teacher.
I mean, how? Like, I mean, you say that, but I also was done that. I was not fit for the church when I was like getting confirmed. I was like,
Right.
I do not belong here.
when I
don't
was
believe
getting
any of this
confirmed,
shit.
I was like, "That's can't wait. Done.
Okay.
Done with this. I'm confirmed. You know.
I'm an adult in the eyes of the church.
yeah.
Right.
Put the work in. You know.
Right.
Yeah, when I was that age, I was really like atheist. When I was however old you are,
Okay.
I was like full on.
Yeah, you're like
this is all
12 or
ridiculous.
13,
Yeah.
14. Yeah.
Stuff that doesn't
Fucking
interest
assholes,
me.
all this shit. They're
I hate stuff that doesn't interest me. So like,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
it
the
just
same
didn't
way.
interest me. It was after school. I was
Okay.
going. I had to go to church every Sunday.
In terms of belief, you had bought like you were just like, yep, I die, go to heaven, depending on how good of a person. I
When?
am. When you got confirmed, when you were like,
when I got confirmed,
yeah, like when you were then.
No, I mean when
Okay.
I was really young, I was like, I wanted to be the priest. I wanted, to,
Okay.
I wanted to join the seminary.
You wanted to be the
Yeah.
headliner.
Like,
Right.
yeah,
Then you
like,
found
I
out
was
there
like-
was no pussy in it. Like, oh
Yeah,
wow.
everybody loves a priest, right, guys?
Yeah.
So I'm actually reading Malcolm Gladwell's new book right now.
Oh, okay.
He does a
Very
story.
cool.
He goes in depth on the Jerry Sandusky stuff, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
fucking rough. I was listening to it this morning at the boat while I was like doing
nice.
shit around,
Yeah.
and it's just like that whole story about McQuarrie in the shower catching like
Yeah.
and then running and telling his parents. It's so weird. It's such a
that
crazy fucking story.
Factor isn't it's talking to strangers? Is that what,
Talking to strangers, yeah.
how does that factor? What is the?
Tell you, if that title
It's
was
hard.
true,
it's
it would have been
it's,
called.
It's hard to describe right now. It's just instinctually you bleed through your people when like so. There's a story about a spy for Cuba that worked at the DIA and like everybody nobody was so shocked when they found out she was a spy, but she was so like kind of blatant and open about it. Like it's called the truth default theory or something like that. I suck at reading.
Did you finish the paint houses? I heard you.
No, I'm gonna finish it before I see the movie.
Oh, you guys
so
are going to
excited
have
for it.
your new De Niro and Pacino.
De Niro,
We're getting one last. We're getting one last
One
one.
last ride. And Pesci.
Pesci.
He's good.
Guys,
I'm sorry.
So
you
I
trying to
did
end here?
when I was.
Yeah,
So long story short, when I was confirmed, I was just kind of out of it. I didn't really like to think about that stuff. It didn't interest me, and it wasn't
So
until
you
later
didn't
in
have to
life.
do like 12-step and shit like that? Because usually there's a religious stuff in there where
I tried.
you tried.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not into it. I like making people laugh and being happy with other
Gotcha.
people. Like the rooms don't do that for me.
I got you. And then Patty, you what do you think when you die? You thinking there's a heaven, buddy? You gonna be walking on clouds with all your relatives?
I don't. I think it's kind of just lights out.
Patty's here.
Nope, you're all wrong. It's like Sonic 2, level 6, when you're up in the clouds and there's like little angels bopping around, and then you jump on them and squirrels pop out of
Drinking
them.
Rolling Rocks with FDR.
That's right. Guys, think of all of history's greatest figures we can look forward to drinking with.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Joe Pesci. I mean, not now, but by the time I get there, he'll be there.
No, he's there now too. he's in a super position. That's what they call it.
Yeah, he's been doing it's like quarterly taxes. He's been giving a little bit of his soul away each time, so it's like that. Cool. So we should plug some stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What you guys
So,
got coming up?
gentlemen?
I don't have anything stand-up wise coming up.
Ben
But
Franklin,
I do have anything. It's just the Dank Man stuff. I got a long video, short film kind of a thing that I'm editing right now, which is a gigantic pain in the ass. But it's funny.
So they can just follow you, maybe social media or something
social
like
media. Just go to Dankman Productions
Dankman
Dankman Productions on Instagram,
Very cool.
Facebook.
DANKMAN.
Yes.
Twitter at Eddie Verzella. V as in Victor, ERZELLA. The Ben Franklin Yacht on Penn's Landing. Love to have your next birthday party, office party, whatever the fuck. We're starting to,
We're just plugging the business.
Hey, man.
I like the
my bread and
whatever
butter.
the fuck is the thing.
Whatever the fuck- whatever you
He's
wanna
like,
do.
oh,
I
dude,
mean-
come on, don't come on. I just, you know what I mean? Just come over here, do
We're
some
doing it on Wednesday at Jewish Singles Night for older Jewish people.
Can I come?
And the lady's an event planner, and she wants me to be on her television show. It shoots in. It's like a streaming show. It shoots in, and she wants me to promote the vote. But I just,
We shouldn't have talked
I want to
about
do
the
stuff like
white
this.
supremacy stuff. This is going to, hopefully, don't put this out.
Well, no. This is coming out on Wednesday. It'll be
Oh,
over by
perfect.
then.
Yeah, we're on this. Yeah.
This is coming out on Wednesday.
No,
or
this is
Thursday?
coming out
coming out
Thursday.
Thursday.
Your thing's on Wednesday.
Where's she gonna find this?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's perfect. Wonderful. Jesse Bammies.
At Jesse Dram, at Magic Misery Tour, Black Cat Tavern. Keep an eye on it. We're changing it up.
Boat mic every Monday night until it gets cold out, and then we're just gonna do showcases every couple of months.
Very, very nice. I am neilwood.com for all my dates and details. But other than that, we will see you guys another time.
Stay miserable. Don't have a heart attack out of water slide. Bye.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.